This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Government assessing over 400 promotions and hires. 30% of students not showing up for online learning, according to the Department of Education. And it's the opening of Parliament. We'll have full coverage here on Guardian Radio. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, October 6th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Straw. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll be talking with RBC about their Auto Wow promotion and the great deals that can be had on if you're interested in purchasing a new vehicle. And then it's another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And later in Morning Blend Business, we continue. It's part two of our discussion with Doctors Hospital about their weight loss solutions. After the greatness we had from our first discussion a few weeks ago, we'll have more on that today. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Minister of State for the Public Service, Pia Glover Roll, saying that the government is assessing more than 400 promotions and hires that took place in the last 7 to 8 weeks of the minister's administration. The promotions and hires under review were halted following last month's general election. Glover Roll saying she hopes to wrap up that assessment as soon as possible. She says there are a few hundred in the last 6 to 8 weeks alone. And then prior to that, she wanted to make sure that that hundreds that were held up over the years. She says it's not only going to be a process of ensuring that the backlog is handled, but they're going to be looking to smoothen out that process as well. Director of Education Marcellus Taylor says that roughly 30% of students are not attending classes on the online learning platform. He says in terms of student engagement that they believe they have all their students registered on the platform, but that 70% are actually engaged. He says that, quote, those students who are not engaged may not be engaged for a number of reasons. Chiefly among them might be that those students don't have digital access and that they may not have internet capability and that they may not have a device or they may not have electricity. Taylor says the Department of Education has tried its best to improve the availability of devices. The FNM condemning Prime Minister Philip Davis's decision to support Island Luck co-founder and philanthropist Adrian Fox, who's awaiting sentencing in U.S. courts. According to the FNM, it says, quote, comments attributed to Prime Minister Davis in the morning's newspapers that he has no regrets about having written a character reference on behalf of Adrian Fox, who has pleaded guilty in a plea deal before a foreign court to a charge directly connected with human trafficking, are astonishing and reprehensible. His further comment that he would do it again if he had to is even more reprehensible. Did the Prime Minister feel that he had to do it the first time? In April 2010, a U.S. grand jury indicted Fox for aiding and abetting the bringing of persons whom he knew to be aliens into the United States at a place other than a designated port of entry. However, in 2021, that charge was reduced to aiding and abetting the grossly negligent operation of a vessel. And former Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands says that he has plans on running for leadership of the FNM, but he did not say whether he will present himself at the party's November convention. He appeared on the Guardian radio show The Hit Back with Nahaja Black yesterday. He said, quote, as long as you don't ask me when, I'm happy to answer that in the affirmative. If you ask me when, I know the answer to that question, but just wait and see. Overseas, a group of French senators arriving in Taiwan for a 5-day visit today, following a large Chinese show of force with fighter jets near the self-ruled island. And Beijing is warning the trip will hurt its ties with France. The group, led by Senator Alain Richard, will meet with the president in Taiwan, Tsai Ing-wen, economic and health officials, and Mainland Affairs Council. Richard, a former French defense minister, previously visited Taiwan in 2015 and 2018. China tried to discourage the visit with its embassy in France, saying ahead of the trip that it will not only damage China's core interests and undermine Chinese-French relations, but will also damage France's own reputation and interests. The visit is part of normal and regulatory parliamentary exchanges between France and Taiwan, which were not politicized in the past. China claims self-ruled Taiwan as its own territory and opposes any international engagement with the island, such as visits by foreign government officials. It has also aggressively poached Taiwan's remaining diplomatic allies. And Pope Francis expressing shame for himself and the Roman Catholic Church today for the scale of child sexual abuse within the Church in France, and acknowledged failures in putting the needs of victims first. The Pope, speaking during his regular audience at the Vatican about a report released Tuesday that estimated that some 330,000 French children were abused by clergy and other church authority figures dating back to 1950. Pope Francis saying, quote, there is unfortunately a considerable number. I would like to express to the victims my sadness and pain for the trauma that they suffered. It is also my shame, our shame, my shame for the incapacity of the Church for too long to put them at the center of its concerns. Pope Francis calling on all bishops and religious superiors to take all actions necessary so similar dramas, his words, are not repeated. In sports, for 100 years, BTC has been connecting the islands of the Bahamas, and this millennium has been one of the biggest and more faithful supporters of sports in the country. So this period is no different as it welcomes on board its newest brand ambassador, Stephen Gardner, the world and Olympic champion in men's 400 meters. The day after Shaunae Miller-Weibo was signed by the other telecommunications company in the country, fellow gold medalist from the Tokyo Olympics, Gardner was recognized as a local and global ambassador. He signed a $100,000 contract at the BTC flagship store at the Mall Marathon yesterday morning, becoming the company's latest athletic promoter for its superfast broadband services and the ambassador of BTC's Elevate What's Next campaign. The Bahamas Cricket Association has selected a 14-member squad for the upcoming International Cricket Council's Men's 2020 World Cup Americas, set for November 2nd through 12th in Antigua and Barbuda. The tournament was originally set for August 2020, but because of the threat of the COVID pandemic, it was rescheduled for July of this year. Then it was rescheduled for this current date next month. The team has intensified its preparation over the past 2 months. You can read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a northwestward moving trough that continues to spark pockets of showers as a high pressure ridge progressively builds across the islands through tonight. Boaters should be alert for the slight risk of rip currents and waterspout activity. Beachgoers in central southeast Bahamas, again, should exercise caution because of that rip current situation. And everybody's being advised again to remain hydrated due to triple-digit heat indices. Yes, the humidity is back, and it is feeling very hot out there. For all areas today, we're looking at partly mostly sunny, hot, and breezy conditions with isolated to widely scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms becoming mostly fair tonight. Smallcraft advisory in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots in the northwestern islands, easterly at 15 to 25 knots in the central and southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the northwestern islands, but 5 to 8 feet in the central and southeast Bahamas. Temperatures today getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius, but that heat index will make it feel like 101 Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have an extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
My Gateway is the centralized, safe, secure way to access and pay for government services online. Go to mygateway.gov.bs and log in to request a police character certificate, renew your passport or driver's license, and more. Receive emails confirming requests and alerts when documents are ready. You must have a valid, government-issued ID in order to collect documents. My Gateway is fast, easy, and convenient. Go to mygateway.gov.bs and register today.
People helping people to help themselves.
All right, watch this. The credit union of the Bahamas, job card ain't got nothing on them. This the plug.
People helping people to help themselves.
Don't believe me? Join the credit union and watch your money grow like Chef and Needle.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Yeah, go join one.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
More what? Stop that.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Let me get my money there.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
Join
a credit union. Watch your savings grow with higher interest rates. Become a member and purchase some shares. Then ownership is coming your way. They offer local banking members the owner. Personalized service. Come and join the credit union and your choice will be the smartest. I girl now. Credit unions are the smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Chester Robards.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chester. Great to have you with us.
Good to be here.
As always. Excited for the opening of Parliament?
Absolutely.
Yes, you can tell. I can tell. It's going to be great. Going to be great. Looking forward to hearing what's said.
Yeah.
And what we
have to look forward
look
to.
forward to for the next 5 years, and keep our fingers crossed for it happening.
Yes.
Because we know how this thing go. What was the percentage rate of what gets done from what is read on the speech from the throne?
That's a great question.
Is it 50%?
We should calculate that.
I don't even know. It's 50.
That. 15, you say?
I'm thinking it's 15, but I said, is it 50?
I don't know.
I doubt it's 50. We need to go back and look at the last
That's
one
true.
and
We
see
should
what
do
was.
a
I'm sure that number was low. Oh, my goodness gracious. That number was low. But anyway, we're optimistic. It is a new day. It's Wednesday now.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so that's coming up. We're gonna we're gonna go live to that at 10 o'clock and hear what's happening there, and see how that goes.
Awesome.
Yeah, great stuff. Awesome. In the meantime, though, we have a lot to talk about here on the show, and you can join the conversation on Twitter at MorningBlend969 or Facebook, facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Email us, morningblend@nasguard.com, or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC, 422-GR96, 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Coming up this morning, more weather and traffic, and in our 8 o'clock hour, RBC will be here. They're talking about their Auto Wow promotion. And then we've got the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. Another 2 names will be drawn, and more great prizes will be given out.
All right.
Then later in Morning Blend Business, it's part 2 of a discussion we started last month with Doctors Hospital about their weight loss solutions. We had a great response from that discussion, and we'll have part 2 because we definitely didn't have enough time to talk about all the things we needed to. That's coming up in our 9 o'clock hour. Yeah. So a lot to get to this speech from the throne, opening of Parliament Wednesday. But right now, let's get into what else is in the news. And in the news, there's a lot of big stories I want to get to this morning, including what's happening with the public service and the promotions and the hires there, and this disturbing story, which we've been hearing from the BUT president for a long time, that a great percentage of students are not showing up for virtual learning, right? We'll get to that and what the Department of Education is saying. And yesterday was, is it World Teachers Day? Is that how they call it?
Yeah.
Or Teacher Appreciation Day. Anyway, we hope everybody, all the teachers understand how appreciated they were. We didn't say anything to you yesterday, but forgive us.
Didn't?
No.
Oh.
But we hope you understand that we love you, and I mean, that's
Absolutely
horrible, right? My
appreciate
parents were teachers, and can you imagine?
Shame on you.
It is a disgrace. But hey, but every day is Teacher Appreciation Day, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. But let's briefly talk about this lead story in the National Guardian today. F&M condemns Davis over Fox support. Opposition party claims PM's statement damaging to country. Our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about it today. The Free National Movement yesterday condemned Prime Minister Davis's decision to support Island Luck co-founder and philanthropist Adrian Fox, who's awaiting sentencing in U.S. court. The F&M saying, quote, comments attributed to Prime Minister Davis in this morning's papers that he had no regrets about having written a character reference on behalf of Adrian Fox, who was pleaded guilty in a plea deal before a foreign court to a charge directly connected with human trafficking, are astonishing and reprehensible. His further comment that he would do it again if he had to is even more reprehensible. Did the Prime Minister feel that he had to do it the first time? If you don't know, in April 2010, a U.S. grand jury indicted Fox for aiding and abetting the bringing of persons whom he knew to be aliens into the United States at a place other than a designated port of entry, according to U.S. court documents. However, in 2021, this year, the charge was reduced to aiding and abetting the grossly negligent operation of a vessel. In an August 10th, 2021 letter to Judge Denise Cote, or Cote, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, which was contained in Fox's October 1st sentencing memorandum, Prime Minister Davis, who he wasn't Prime Minister at the time, right? Yeah. Davis described Fox as a friend and an exemplary citizen. Davis later led the PLP to victory during the September 16th general election. In his letter, Davis made it clear that he was not speaking as leader of the opposition or leader of the PLP, but that his intervention was in a personal way. On Monday, when asked about his character reference for Fox, Davis said, quote, he has so reordered his life and his philanthropy and what he's been doing and helping his community. I thought it only fitting for me to say to the courts what I thought of him. Those are my views. If I had to do it again, I'd do it. But the F&M is saying, quote, the Prime Minister's comments display an arrogant and in-your-face attitude which is unseemly and deeply damaging to the Bahamas. And they would certainly know about that type of attitude. They certainly would. Okay, let me go on. They say, quote, his words and arrogant attitude should be utterly condemned by all right-thinking Bahamians. Several other prominent PLPs also wrote character references for Fox, including former cabinet ministers Leslie Miller and Shane Gibson, Alfred Sears, Leslie Bryce, Jomo Campbell, who have all since become successful PLP candidates.
Oh, wow.
Well, not Leslie Miller and Shane Gibson, of course. Several clergymen also wrote letters in support of Fox.
Is that so? Very interesting.
The F&M said, quote, evidently a host of current PLP cabinet ministers, MPs and former MPs and ministers are reported to have waged a wholesale character reference assailment of the trial judge in New York. While reports state that the then leader of the opposition, now Prime Minister, made it clear that he was writing in a personal and not official capacity, the facts of a wholesale PLP campaign of character references before the New York court belies such assertions. Just think of the national embarrassment we would suffer should each letter writer be summoned to testify in person before the New York court. In a sentencing memorandum filed on Friday in New York, Fox asked the court to sentence him to serve a term of probation with the condition that he perform 100 hours of community service in the Bahamas and pay an appropriate fine. The document continued, quote, Mr. Fox's crime of conviction, aiding and abetting the grossly negligent operation of a vessel, accurately describes his limited role in a much larger operation that resulted in criminal charges against him and many others. Okay. Anyway, so we're not talking about his issue, but the Prime Minister's involvement in this, or the then opposition leader. What say you about this? Is the FNM blowing this out of proportion, or do they have a right to be concerned and worried about the damage, the potential damage to his reputation, our reputation, everybody's reputation in this matter? Give us a call. Tell us what you think. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. What do you make of that, Chester Robards?
Well, I think the Prime Minister was saying earlier this week as well that Fox's case went through his law firm. Mm. So, I mean, if your lawyer can't write a character reference for you, how could they defend you in court?
Hey, yes, indeed. Yes, okay. 323-6232.
Now the other people, those are whatever they are. I don't know what they are.
Same thing, right?
After somebody pled guilty to something close to or next to human trafficking.
No. Aiding and abetting the grossly negligent operation of vehicles. You had no idea.
Which was a smaller part of human trafficking.
Well, maybe he didn't know what was going on.
Maybe.
Like, wait, I thought they all were.
Right.
We all had visas and passports and were willingly going.
So
perhaps.
So after someone pleads guilty to something like that, then you talk about how they've turned their life around. Mm-hmm. But they've served.
That's a very interesting point.
Not.
Well, maybe he doesn't associate with people who get involved in.
But is that still the? Mm-hmm. Is justice been served in that case? Is justice served by doing? What does he want? Community service in the Bahamas. When it's the U.S. that wants the justice. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Doing well.
That's good. Well, I think what the Prime Minister was saying, as a lawyer on the Queen's Counsel at that particular time, as a character reference for his client, that's the right decision he made at the time. And if it was a choice to do it again as a lawyer, he will do it again. I don't think nothing is wrong with that. Because remember now, he's also a criminal lawyer. Any lawyer would have done the same thing. What do you think about that, Dwight?
Would any lawyer have done the same thing?
Yes, sir. Mm. Yes, sir. Did you watch the case with O.J. Simpson and his lawyers?
Well, they weren't running for office. They weren't running.
No, I'm not saying they weren't running for office. At the time that the Prime Minister that they probably took on the case. You know how long this case was going on?
Yeah, but he wrote the letter a month before the election.
Well, but I'm saying to you, as a reference as a lawyer, okay? A lawyer only does what a lawyer do, okay? And I don't think anything is wrong with that.
Okay.
I mean, me and you might see it different, but I'm saying as a lawyer, if you're acting in a capacity as a lawyer or a former lawyer as a client of a particular lawyer at the time, no lawyer would write a bad character reference on their client.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. Okay. Lawyers will do what they have to do.
That's true. Lawyers defend guilty people all the time.
All the time. And get many of them off.
Exactly.
Good morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning to both of you.
Hi.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm just thinking that the FNM is blowing this out of proportion because clearly the leader of opposition should have had consultation with his attorneys and Attorney General before he spoke on this. Based on the case, here's what happens. An initial indictment was initiated. Generally speaking, you usually have about 5 years to be taken to trial from that particular time. In this case, it's been almost a decade. Essentially, a good argument was made as to why this case should be nulli pros, as we call it, with one exception. An argument was made that the time limit should not apply in spite of it being, a dozen years, shouldn't apply because of he was not in the jurisdiction of the U.S. But when you begin to look at the time and the information that's involving the sentencing guidelines, it would make Mr. Fox eligible for what is called a
Well, we don't really need to get into all that. We're just wondering if what
I'm just saying,
Mr.
I'm
Davis
just giving
did.
the people to show that this is disingenuous, because as a former leader of our country, with right to counsel, and having known familiarity with this case, because this is an ongoing case and the Attorney General would have been briefed on it, would have known that you were facing a non-custodial argument or a split sentence of less than 11 months. So essentially, and it's a non-aggravated offense based on the guilty plea. What I'm simply saying is the F&M is making hay on the ignorance of the Bahamian people as to the merits of the case. And it's simply, it's like arguing, should I have do my non-custodial sentence in the Bahamas, or should I do it in the U.S.? It doesn't matter. It's not a jail time if the sentencing guideline is followed. And essentially, these people are making an argument that he has made a contribution to society here. He has helped assist in the gaming, getting the gaming legalized, et cetera, and that he should be giving all of these things of reform in his life over the last decade. And so the F&M is making hay out of nothing of this, but playing on the ignorance of the Bahamian people not knowing the merits of the case.
Okay. Thank you very much. I don't think you need to know the case much to have an opinion on this. But okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's read some of your text messages before we move on to another issue. This one says here, I don't know about who else cares, but as an upstanding Bahamian, I'm gravely concerned that my country's prime minister is even mentioned in the same sentence of a human trafficker. Anyone involved in human trafficking is a slimy monster. The actions of the Prime Minister and Cabinet Ministers regarding the convicted human smuggler does not reflect well on the country's image. Are they going to write character references for the Bahamian man charged with stealing to take care of his family? Human smuggling is a serious offense around the world, and in particular in the Bahamas. But Dwight, when was the last time we charged anyone or convicted anyone for human smuggling in this country, given that we have such a problem with human smuggling? I think we have, but not many. But we definitely...
As you mean,
was it smuggling?
The Bahamian courts convicted people for human smuggling.
She was actually holding. It was a trafficking.
That was
thing.
a trafficking charge. Yeah, the lady.
Yeah. Remember? Yeah. Okay. Prime Minister Davis was for years trying to get to the office of the Prime Minister. All of his actions should have been guided by that desire. The letter for Mr. Fox was stupid. Okay. The things people will say to defend garbage. Yeah, okay. Anyway. We'll leave that one there. Pick up a copy of today's NASA Guardian if you want to read more about that. All right, so the other big stories, as you said, education, we'll get to that in a second, and the public service. We're getting an update from State Minister for the Public Service, Pia Glover-Roll, who says the government is assessing more than 400 promotions and hires that took place in the last 7 to 8 weeks of the Minutes administration. For more on this, take a listen to this report from our Jasmine Brown.
We're not doing anything peculiar. In any new administration, we would assess what has taken place, especially what has taken place in the last 6 to 8 weeks. So we have placed all pending promotions and hirings on hold. I am making an assessment in the shortest possible time.
The State Minister for Public Service says officials are working hard to ensure that review is completed in a reasonable amount of time.
Obviously, persons are waiting. It's not our intention to disenfranchise. We have to make sure that policy is being conformed to. We have to make sure that these promotions are being issued on merit. And of course, we also want to I continue to say that we want to consider that we make sure that our personnel is not disenfranchised by a long wait.
On September 13th, just days before the 2021 general election, then Public Service Minister Renzo Roll revealed the government had officially made 1,200 workers from its 52-week unemployment program permanent and pensionable. During a Free National Movement rally in Abaco, he said 85 people from the island were approved, with letters of employment readied. Glover Roll says so far the process is going smoothly and assessments are being made in consultation with other ministries.
So it's not only going to be a process of ensuring that the backlog is handled, but we're going to look for future, to make the process smoother for the future, because it's systemic that there's a backlog. So we need to see the processes that we're going to put in place that will eliminate the backlog for future. People put in the work in the public service, so we want to make sure that we're duly compensating them and providing the rewards that are necessary.
Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, yeah, what do you say about that? This is nothing out of the ordinary. They just have some questions, and they're looking to get through it as quickly as possible, as we've heard before. But let's talk about it. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. As you heard from the president of the BPSU when he was on the show last week, there's nothing really political that can be done so much when it comes to promotions, at least. I'm not sure about the hires, but they have a process that they have to go through, and you have to show how and why somebody deserves a promotion. Hires might be a different story, and new contracts, but we'll see.
So does this constitute a turnaround from what the government said they wouldn't do before elections?
As a stop, cancel, review, that kind of stuff?
No. I'm talking about the former administration.
Oh, the former, what they said before the election when that ushered them in.
Right.
That's what they're trying to find out, right? You condemned this from the Christie administration, and yet...
So if we were tallying, the things that they said they would do but didn't do, but what about the things that they said they wouldn't do but did do?
Oh,
do they get negative points for that? Do they get points taken away?
But they certainly do more of the things they said they wouldn't do that they continued to do. A lot more of that than the things they said they would do and didn't do. Right?
See, this is where they get you.
And that's all of them, right?
Right.
So we should just say, when they say they're going to do it, so you're not going to do it.
Another thing is...
And the thing you say you hate, you are going to do it.
Right.
Okay.
And so we should have been listening closely to the opposition when they were sitting there talking about things that they said they wouldn't do.
Right. And anything they call wrong.
Wrong.
Oh, that's what you support.
Right. And see what happens now.
Oh, boy. Well, now we know what to do. Okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, sorry for looking back a little bit, but my call came in just a little late when you was on the other story.
Mm-hmm.
But what I need some clearance on, when people like Brave them running for office, right, political office, and they have to discontinue their employment at their place of work.
Once you're elected. Mm-hmm.
I can't hear you.
Once you're elected, yes.
Okay, so he basically have to I thought you have to disclose certain things before prior to election, and but once you're nominated, you got to say, well, okay, I can't wait for that law for him no more. And that's the procedure?
No. You're talking about private. If you're in the private sector, you could, right? I mean, each company will have their own rules, I'm sure. Right. But in the public sector, there are different rules. Once you disclose, or once you are nominated, and once you are ratified, there's different rules in the public sector.
But you could be unemployed and still write a character reference. Not that somebody would want it.
So he's the leader of the opposition at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And he should have been able to see that the handwriting was on the wall that he could possibly win the election and be prime minister.
Yeah, well, as you heard him say, he said it doesn't matter. He would do it again. So
yeah, I hear that part. I hear the arrogance in that part. But I mean, at the end, you can write a letter for somebody that's already convicted in the United States of America. A month before the election, my brave them smarter than that man. What these dudes is being to man. What they're being to, all you have to do is disassociate. He running, he may win a general election. All you can do is disassociate yourself with that. You got a law firm there, let somebody else deal with that fine.
Well, again, the charge was reduced, and so, as they're looking at the situation, he wrote a
All right, thanks.
reference letter. So, yeah. Okay. We got another message on this. When you're running for public office, you really need to disassociate yourself with issues like this. But the PLP are known to be involved in unscrupulous activities.
Really?
Oh, my goodness. Is that right? Well, well, everybody.
Real G's don't worry about things like elections.
Questionable activities. But it's all a matter of opinion, according to some.
What's all a matter of opinion?
Whether something is questionable or unscrupulous
That's
or
true, I guess.
conflict. And we have many different views on these things, it seems. All right. Then more on this, it seems. Text messages coming in. Dwight, many people have written character references for people. We would not always know the other side of people's character. I can only write what I know of you at the time. No. Please stop. Stop. Yes, of course, what you're saying is right. That doesn't apply here. It doesn't apply here. You know the person's facing legal matters. That's very different. Somebody who you used to work with comes to you, and you don't know that they have these charges. But that's not the situation here. So I'm not sure why you're bringing that up. Why would you?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, now do you see what is wrong with this country? We have no morals. Oh boy. Be a big criminal and make enough money, you can get away with anything. Well, that's everywhere in the world, isn't it? Unfortunately.
All the way up to the top.
Everywhere in the world. So, please tell those PLP sympathizers to remove the plank from their eyes and stop the hypocritical commentary on this saga. We are Bahamians, and our first obligation is to our country and not a leader of a political organization. Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary. F&M did it to immigration as soon as they came in. What are we talking about here? Oh, you mean the promotions and looking at what's going on there. Yeah, okay. This one says here, it's only bad for Dr. Minutes if it's not a criminal like, they're mentioning the name of the that signature dude, forging documents. And they're right. Okay, so I see what they're saying. So they're saying that was an international embarrassment. Remember how the opposition carried on at the time, and they looked and all of his files came out about convictions and how that was an embarrassment to the country, and yet they are in full support of this. Well, I guess in this case, the person's a Bahamian. We love our Bahamians. Yay. I don't know. The F&M is gone now. The love grace period of playing blind with the new government. When is it going to expire?
Doing what?
I don't understand. I hope that it is not a trick to remove non-supporters off the promotion list and replace them with PLP supporters. I hope that the Davis administration looks out for all Bahamians. Again, that's going to be very difficult to do. Very difficult to do.
Why is it going to be difficult to do?
Because there's a special process that you'd have to meet. A criteria that you'd have to meet.
You mean get rid of the people?
For promotions. Oh, and yeah, I mean, that's not easy, the public service. Not easy at all. Right?
Not when you're a real G. It's easy.
Right. Okay, we're back and forth with the text messages there in between the public service and this issue with the character reference. This one says, I find it troubling that in a country with a huge human smuggling problem, the U.S. can drag smugglers to the court, but we can't. Now we see why. Obviously, the witch hunt has begun. Pitchforks and torches out. Now, which one is
Witch
this
hunt
for?
for who?
Which one is this for? Both stories or the public
Guess
service?
it works for both stories.
I know a decent man from church that went to jail in America for drug trafficking. Should I not write a reference letter to him? Is rehabilitation not possible for traffickers?
Well, he went to jail, so after he came out, they would say he was rehabilitated.
Also, are you running for office too? But, okay. How will they know whether the persons who earned their promotions voted for the F&M or even voted at all? And this is what we're saying. It's not as simple as that. It doesn't quite work like that. All right, let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Jeff.
Hi, good morning.
Dwight, I thought you to be live at Bahama, man. Doing your morning show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. You and Chelsea look good doing it. But listen, they called to say,
I changed my clothes.
Pardon?
No, never mind.
Go ahead, Chelsea.
No, I said I would have to change my clothes.
No, man. You don't got to change your clothes. Me and Dwight and hanging over that Bermuda shorts. But listen, this thing what they trying to put on the Prime Minister, it's a bunch of nonsense. The Prime Minister is a lawyer, professional lawyer, and in his professional duty, he has to conduct himself in that manner. But you know, there's no claim on the Prime Minister and no claim when he was Minister of Works. Remember they say he couldn't travel? Yeah, you all remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
And the Prime Minister was at the baseball game and all of that. So these are witch hunts. What are they going to, and you're going to see a lot of this as my Prime Minister take us to 50 years of independence, right? Remember, I prayed in the PLP, the one who brought us into independence. Ray Davis going to bring us into the 50 year of independence. Have a good morning.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it a witch hunt. You could understand why people are concerned.
Here's an interesting message. The FNM still doesn't get it. The comments against Davis shows that they are continuing the campaign tactic of attacking Davis rather than focusing on what they need to do to regroup after the election defeat. Well, another text here. What is wrong with this? Is it that Mr. Fox is a black man? This is okay. This is just like a white man getting caught with a gun. He pays a fine, but a black man gets caught with the same gun and goes to jail and fined. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this. All the things about Brave Davis that gave me pause are starting to manifest with him as Prime Minister. Already? You sure? Wow, okay. Well, that's fast. Yeah. Well, as I said, we will continue to follow this and follow all these stories and see what comes out of it.
Nothing's
probably
gonna come out of it.
One final message as we go to the break. Morning. Don't care what Brave Davis did before office. I care now that he's in office. Well, I mean, a month before you don't care. Are you sure you can say that about everything? I don't think that's right. That's not how things work. Right? I'm not saying this is something we should care about. I'm just saying that you can't have that attitude. You don't care. It's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous attitude to have. But okay, let's take a break. When we come back, a lot more to get into on this Wednesday morning, including what's happening in the schools and the consequences, what we're going to feel as a result of this in the long term. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
That's boy. It's gonna be jumping up right now. You have the time. Sing, bro, sing, man. All around the world I've been. All the faces I have seen. Yeah, that's what we do. There's no place I like to be. Yeah, but me now down by the sea. Nassau is where we come from. New York is where we come from. I've been searching all around, but I'm coming back to match you down. I know that boy.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
AP News, I'm Jackie Quinn. They are talking about the so-called legislative nuclear option on Capitol Hill to avert a government default this month. Our Mike Gracia reports.
With the nation another day closer to an unprecedented federal government default, a move by Democrats to change the Senate's filibuster rules appears to be on the table. President Joe Biden told reporters Tuesday evening,
I think that's a real possibility.
But Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell again pointed out the Democrats are in control.
They need to do this. They have the time to do it. And the sooner they get about it, the better.
Doing away with the filibuster rule would lower the threshold for passage from 60 votes to 50.
The Supreme Court today is set to hear arguments about the government's right to keep what it calls state secrets from a Guantanamo Bay detainee tortured by the CIA in the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks. The defendant's lawyers are seeking information related to his detention. California's governors declared a state of emergency for the Orange County coast after last week's massive oil pipeline leak. There are questions about the timeline of reporting that 126,000-gallon spill.
Federal investigators say the pipeline owner didn't quickly shut down operations after a safety system alerted to a possible spill. The Coast Guard says a commercial ship reported a possible spill Friday night. Amplify Energy didn't report a spill until the next morning. CEO Martin Wilshire.
We were not aware of anything Friday night. If there were reports, like I said, they did not come to us.
Meanwhile, Governor Gavin Newsom repeating his calls for the U.S. to move beyond oil. I'm Julie Walker.
Los Angeles city leaders are expected to vote today on one of the nation's strictest vaccine mandates, requiring proof of shots to enter a restaurant, a nail salon, or even a Lakers game. The Red Sox beat the Yankees in the AL East wild card game. This is AP News. The federal government's telling Arizona to stop using COVID relief funds for schools that ban face masks.
In a letter to Arizona Governor Doug Ducey, the Treasury Department says federal pandemic funding cannot be used for a pair of multi-million-dollar grant programs that can only be used by schools without mask mandates or families that request vouchers because their public schools require masks. The Treasury Department says the conditions undermine evidence-based efforts to stop the spread of COVID-19. Arizona's COVID case numbers and hospitalizations have been rising, while the rolling average of daily deaths in Arizona is around 46 people per day. I'm Jennifer King.
Pope Francis is expressing shame for himself and the Roman Catholic Church for the newly reported extent of child sexual abuse cases within the church in France. A report this week estimates some 330 children were abused by clergy and other church figures dating back to 1950. I'm Jackie Quinn, AP News.
.40 the time for your first look at traffic this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Here's what's happening. We're seeing heavy traffic on Mile Butler Highway from Fire Trail all the way up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway this morning. And that's the northbound lanes there. Gladstone Road also busy for you northbound up to JFK Drive. Blue Hill Road is going to be seeing some heavy traffic right now at the intersection with Cowpen and Blue Hill. You'll see that there, Zion Boulevard. And also further up near Carmichael, and of course, north of Sold Road, that heaviest traffic heading towards the Independence Drive roundabout. Independence Drive backed up as well, westbound to that roundabout with Blue Hill Road. Elsewhere, we are seeing traffic at some of your major intersections in eastern New Providence, like Prince Charles and Fox Hill, Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue, and then East-West Highway and Robinson Road. That's what we're seeing so far. We'll have another report for you after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined. Time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a northwestward moving trough that continues to spark pockets of showers as a high pressure ridge progressively builds across the islands through tonight. For all areas today, forecast is calling for partly to mostly sunny, hot, and breezy conditions with isolated to widely scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms becoming mostly fair tonight. Small craft advisory remains in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas. Look for highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius But the heat index will be in the triple digits, 101 Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius, and everyone's being asked to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, ridging over the islands will sustain moderate to locally fresh winds ahead of a frontal boundary expected to move eastwards near the extreme northwest Bahamas by Friday. So for tomorrow, Thursday, look for partly to mostly sunny and hot conditions with a chance of isolated showers. Friday, variably cloudy, a bit breezy and hot with isolated showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms, mainly in the northwest Bahamas. In the tropics, disorganized showers and thunderstorms continue in association with that surface trough centered about 100 miles now northeast of the northwest Bahamas. The system still has a very low chance, 10% chance of tropical cyclone formation through the next 5 days. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Unlock your home potential with a home equity loan from RBC and let your greatest asset fund your home improvement and personal projects. Switch your mortgage to RBC today and experience the difference with no management fees, cash back on closing costs, and step-by-step guidance from our team of expert mobile mortgage finance specialists. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/equity loan. Reimagine new ways to bank better with RBC.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here, ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.vaxbahamas.com to register.
What happened to you? You look like you lost your paycheck.
Man, I just realized I got scammed out of a bunch of money. They said I won this contest and just needed me to send them some money so I could collect. I mean, to expedite something. Or was it to smooth the process?
Man, you're smarter than that. Protect yourself against scams and fraud by following these tips. If you know you didn't enter a competition, you can't win. Never pay to receive a cash prize. If you're being asked, you're being scammed. Check trusted internet sites for verification of information given to you. Do not give your banking details to people you don't know. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Monitor your bank account regularly for any questionable transactions. Get more information at getmoneysmartbahamas.com.
People helping people to help themselves.
All right, watch this. The credit union of the Bahamas, drop card ain't got nothing on them. There's the plug.
People helping people to help themselves.
Don't believe me? Join the credit union and watch your money grow like Chef and Needle.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Yeah, go join one.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
More what? Stop that.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Let me get my money down.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
Join
a credit union. Watch your savings grow with higher interest rates. Become a member and purchase some shares. Then ownership is coming your way. They offer local banking members the owner. Personalized service. Come and join the credit union and your choice will be the smartest. Credit unions are the smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
When engaging in physical activity, it is normal for the body to get tired and fatigued. In the same way, COVID-19 has brought on fatigue, but we must not give up the fight. Wear your mask over your mouth and nose, stay at least 3 feet apart from others, wash and sanitize your hands often, and avoid touching your face. Together, we will win.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
At Wendy's, our food is made to make you crave. Crave our all-new Big Bacon Cheddar Burger. This melt-in-your-mouth sandwich is what cheesy bacon dreams are made of. It starts with your choice of fresh, never-frozen beef or a chicken patty topped with American cheese, applewood smoked bacon, bacon jam, onion tanglers, and creamy cheddar cheese spread on an all-toasted cheddar bun. Available for a limited time only. Stop in today for that flavor you crave. Wendy's, different inside and out.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Take that mess from off the wall. Give that baby back its ball. Leave other people things alone. There's other ways to get involved. Get involved, don't be no fool. Stay in school. Let your mind become a tool. Church were made for fools to be. Locked away from society. Get involved, get involved.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. It's a long break just now.
Yeah.
What day is it? Is it still Wednesday? All right. But we love all the advertisers and sponsors.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Hey, I was supposed to do this yesterday. Ran out of time. It was busy yesterday, but I was supposed to wish who they tell me is our number one fan in Grand Bahama a happy birthday. Annie, happy belated now, but happy birthday, Annie, our number one fan in Grand Bahama.
There you go.
Hope you had a wonderful
Happy
day
birthday,
and hope
Annie.
you're having a wonderful birth week. So all the best to you. All right. So this is disturbing, and we've heard this before, again, from Belinda Wilson, the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, the number of students, a large percentage of students not showing up for online learning. And Director of Education Marcellus Taylor saying it's about 30% of students not attending classes on the online learning platform. And there are a number of reasons for this. Take a listen to what education officials are saying in this report from our Berthany McDermott.
Education Director Marcellus Taylor revealing that 30% of students are still not attending virtual classes. He said while officials believe all students are registered on the platform, all of them aren't logging in.
We believe that we have what would be something on the order of about 70% of our students engaged on the system. We have about 70% of our students engaged on this platform. Those students who are not engaged may not be engaged for a number of reasons. Chiefly among them might be that those students don't have digital access, meaning they may not have internet capability, meaning that they may not have a device, meaning that they may not have electricity.
The education director added that the department has done its best to ensure every student has a device.
We believe that we've done a good job in providing many students with devices. I don't know the exact number. We do know that there are some students who would require some devices, but we think that's a small number of persons relative to our overall total.
The ministry also provided students with Wi-Fi boxes. However, Taylor said some parents have not collected the devices.
Some people even haven't collected devices, right? And some others, even though we say you can come and get a packet, some haven't come and collected the packet.
In her address to educators on World Teachers Day, Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin acknowledged that many have not been able to gain access to the learning platform. She stressed the need to bridge the gap to ensure no child is left behind.
The seriousness of this cannot be underestimated. and it is therefore critical that strategies be deployed as soon as feasible to bridge gaps and to ensure that no child is left behind. At the heart of these strategies and at the heart of education recovery are our teachers, who will require our support and goodwill as they undertake this most important task.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, very disturbing. Again, we've been hearing about this for more than a year now. That this has been like this, and those reasons that were given, yeah, I'm sure a few don't have internet capability, and some might not have electricity. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say the majority of these people just don't care.
Sad.
Just don't care, sadly. What are we going to do about this, and what will be the ramifications? What in a year from now, in 5 years from now, in 10 years from now, when these students enter the workforce?
Yeah, we keep hearing about it. People doing, I don't know, what do you call it? Welfare checks on these students. Is that happening?
What
have they called up all of the resources of the education department to make phone calls, visits? I don't know. What do you do?
Visits. And then what? How would that go?
I don't know.
You come to, why haven't you been on the virtual online program?
That's the chief question.
Because I don't like it.
And then you gotta walk away, I guess.
Right. Because it sucks.
Well, this would be the parent saying it, I hope. Because it can't be the child telling
Why
you.
not? Why not?
Well, wouldn't the parent be responsible for making sure the child is getting their education?
Indeed. What are we going to do, folks? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. When you hear that some aren't even coming for the devices, they've secured them, and people just can't be bothered to come to get them.
So do we just chalk it up to these things and leave it alone?
That's what we've been doing.
Is that the right thing to do?
Obviously, it can't be. As we said, these folks aren't. People have been questioning whether the school system right now is creating people who are employable. Imagine what this is going to be like in 5-10 years. The catastrophe that is waiting to happen.
Absolutely.
Let's hear what you have to say about it, folks. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
All right. I want to make a quick statement, and then you all could reply once I have made the statement. But I don't believe that based upon the climate, especially the social climate that Bahamians, especially Bahamians of color, been subjected to and are still going through, that you or no one could say the reason why they aren't participating or getting the devices is because they just don't care.
Yeah.
I believe that was a condescending statement, and you all need to be very careful of how you all define in the public without having...
we aren't defining the public. We're saying some people...
Hold on. Let me make my statement before you interrupt. You all need to be... If you all don't have the research or the data to be able to make these statements on public radio...
No, it's not public radio. It's not. But we can, because we know it's true. Right? I can bring you some examples. They wouldn't want to be exposed. And we know this is true, and the BUT said it too. If you feel some sort of way, then maybe that's the category you fall in. No one said that everybody doesn't care. Some of these people don't care. That is obvious. These are the same folks who don't come to collect the report cards, who don't come to the PTA meetings, who don't come to the teacher-parent conferences. And if you know it's been 1.5 years and you never see your child doing anything at all, you don't care. You don't care. Your child doesn't care and you don't care. Let's stop playing around now and get serious about it. We have some people who don't care. If you can't understand that, well, then that's why we are where we are. I didn't say everybody. Obviously not everybody. But a lot of these people don't care. Get your feelings hurt over that? Well, then that's too bad. Well, let's do something. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it?
I mean, anyway, callers. say what they got to say.
How's it condescending? I wish I could say more about how I know people don't care. I really wish. But that won't be fair. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Here's what some other people are saying. The director knew about this situation for a long time. What's the solution? Private schools are now in hybrid sessions. What's the public school director and the Minister of Education prepared to do going forward? Well, I mean, when you pay, you better care. Not that they do, but I'm just not that it makes a difference. But you're gonna be a little more concerned.
Yeah.
Sadly, that's how it works, right?
Yeah.
I'm not wasting my money for this.
It's true.
Right? Unfortunately, that's how humans work. Another one says, what we need are truant officers to find these kids and charge parents for negligence. We all see kids packing through the day in stores, but without government holding parents responsible, then we just are ignoring the problem. If they are supporting the family, then social services should be involved, but someone needs to be responsible for this future we are wasting. Let's take these calls really quickly. We've got a break for the news. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, morning, Dwight. Morning, Jester.
Hi, good morning.
Listen, there's a multiplicity of finger pointing to go around. The last caller, obviously, I don't know what planet he's on. Sadly to say it that way, but let's put it like this. We have to be concerned that there are a lot of parents who apparently do not care about their children's education. I go out on the limb, and I personally say that because right now, Dwight, I could name 3 persons right now who has tablets that the Ministry of Education has issued to their children to do their schoolwork. But it's the parent that actually has the tablet and downloaded other stuff on the tablet, and they're using it. So in other words, what I'm saying is the tablets are not proprietary. Where they are only to be used specifically for schoolwork. They're using for Facebook and for YouTube and all kind of other stuff. That's part one. Part two, sometimes we have to look at the education system. The minister or the Ministry of Education always gets blamed for a whole myriad of stuff. But when you really dig down into the crux of the matter, sometimes you got to wonder whether a lot of these issues are not just the Ministry of Education issues.
Okay.
These are also from each side. So there's so many things to be considered here.
All right, thanks a lot. We've got a break for the news. We'll pick this up on the other side. This is Morning Blend. Stay tuned.
Locked away from society.
A man is dead and his teenage daughter left wounded after a gunman opened fire on his family's car last night. Police Assistant Superintendent Audley Peters said ShotSpotter technology alerted police to the crime along a patchy alley off Kemp Road just before 9 p.m., and that the victims had been just sitting in their car outside of a business establishment when the gunman struck.
On arrival of the first responders, they met a silver vehicle with 3 occupants within that vehicle, 2 of whom were suffering from gunshot wounds. The occupants include an adult male, an adult female, and a juvenile female. The adult male, who was in the driver's seat, succumbed to his injuries on scene following the examination of the emergency medical personnel. The juvenile female, who suffered injuries in her abdomen, was transported to the Princess Margaret Hospital.
Peters confirmed this morning the victim's daughter is in stable condition. That's now 7 murders recorded in just over a week. At the scene of that shooting last night, National Security Minister and Freetown MP Wayne Munro called on young men caught up in these crimes to stop the nonsense and rethink their career choice. As he said, crime leads nowhere and life expectancy in that field is not long. In other news, the opposition Free National Movement has denounced as reprehensible the Prime Minister's defense of his decision to write a U.S. court in support of his former client, Island Luck co-founder Adrian Fox, who is awaiting sentencing in the United States. In 2010, Fox was indicted for aiding and abetting the trafficking of illegal aliens into that country, but the charge was reduced to aiding and abetting the grossly negligent operation of a vessel. Pointing to Fox's philanthropic work, Prime Minister Philip Davis told reporters this week he had no regrets about defending Fox to the court and would do it again. But the F&M in a press statement yesterday called that defiance in light of the charges against Fox astonishing. The party said Mr. Davis's comments display an arrogant and in-your-face attitude which is unseemly and deeply damaging to the Bahamas. It would be particularly embarrassing, the statement continued, if Davis and all those former and current cabinet ministers who waged a wholesale character reference assailment of the trial judge in New York on Fox's behalf are summoned to testify before that U.S. court. The opposition wrote that Davis's words should be utterly condemned by all right-thinking Bahamians. Well, more than 500 hirings and promotions in the public service are under review as the Davis administration investigates whether they were politically motivated. State Minister for the Public Service, Pia Glover-Roll, told our Jasmine Brown, though, they're hoping to get that review completed quickly.
We're not doing anything peculiar. In any new administration, we would assess what has taken place, especially what has taken place in the last 6 to 8 weeks. So we have placed all pending promotions and hirings on hold. I am making an assessment in the shortest possible time.
The State Minister for Public Service says officials are working hard to ensure that review is completed in a reasonable amount of time.
Obviously, persons are waiting. It's not our intention to disenfranchise. We have to make sure that policy is being conformed to. We have to make sure that these promotions are being issued on merit. And of course, we also want to I continue to say that we want to consider that we make sure that our personnel is not disenfranchised by a long wait.
On September 13th, just days before the 2021 general election, then Public Service Minister Renzo Roll revealed the government had officially made 1,200 workers from its 52-week unemployment program permanent and pensionable. During a Free National Movement rally in Abaco, he said 85 people from the island were approved with letters of employment readied. Glover Roll says so far the process is going smoothly and assessments are being made in consultation with other ministries.
So it's not only going to be a process of ensuring that the backlog is handled, but we're going to look for future, to make the process smoother for the future, because it's systemic that there's a backlog. So we need to see the processes that we're going to put in place that will eliminate the backlog for future. People put in the work in the public service, so we want to make sure that we're duly compensating them and providing the rewards that are necessary.
Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, concern is building that too many children are being left behind due to virtual learning. Bethany McDermott explains.
Education Director Marcellus Taylor revealing that 30% of students are still not attending virtual classes. He said while officials believe all students are registered on the platform, all of them aren't logging in.
We believe that we have what would be something on the order of about 70% of our students engaged on the system. We have about 70% of our students engaged on this platform. Those students who are not engaged may not be engaged for a number of reasons. Chiefly among them might be that those students don't have digital access, meaning they may not have internet capability, meaning that they may not have a device, meaning that they may not have electricity.
The education director added that the department has done its best to ensure every student has a device.
We believe that we have done a good job in providing many students with devices. I don't know the exact number. We do know that there are some students who would require some devices, but we think that's a small number of persons relative to our overall total.
The ministry also provided students with Wi-Fi boxes. However, Taylor said some parents have not collected the devices.
Some people even haven't collected devices, and some others, even though we say you can come and get a packet, some haven't come and collected the packet.
In her address to educators on World Teachers' Day, Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin acknowledged that many have not been able to gain access to the learning platform. She stressed the need to bridge the gap to ensure no child is left behind.
The seriousness of this cannot be underestimated, and it is therefore critical that strategies be deployed as soon as feasible to bridge gaps and to ensure that no child is left behind. At the heart of these strategies, and at the heart of education recovery, are our teachers, who will require our support and goodwill as they undertake this most important task.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Bethany McDermott.
When the speech from the throne is read today at the opening of Parliament, it will be in a unique setting driven by COVID protocols. Gillian Gray takes a look.
It's a tradition that stems back to 1729 when the first parliament in the Bahamas was created. Fast forward to 2021, and the landscape will look much different than it did back then. Tomorrow at Bahama, the executive, legislative, and judiciary will all gather with residents to begin the new parliament session.
First of all, because of the COVID protocols, you physically cannot get 39 members in the House of Assembly chamber with physical distancing. Government decided to move down there so that they can create a chamber for the House of Assembly down there and a chamber for the Senate down there.
The undertakings of Parliament in the Bahamas are a reflection of that of Britain's, right down to the colors chosen for the House of Assembly and Senate decor.
It was where they came to open Parliament. As a matter of fact, the throne that you see behind me, I've seen Queen Elizabeth and Princess Anne read the speech from the throne from there. And it wasn't until after the elections in 1992 that we came up with, Hubert Ingram came up with Government in the Sunshine, that he took the opening of Parliament on the outside of this building. But I'd been here for several times before that, and everything was done in this room.
Clerk of Parliament David Forbes described the opening as a mix of modern undertakings and an event steeped in our colonial history, from changing the structure of the Senate to constructing a new building for Parliament. Forbes, who has worked for Parliament since 1978 when he started as a messenger, says he wants to see the institution grow and flourish. One of the things he thinks can happen within the next few years is the separation of powers. He thinks that in order for the Parliament to truly flourish, it must be independent of the executive.
When we build this institution the way it ought to be built, and I am confident that this government is going to see the light where the other one didn't, where the Parliament needs to have independence. It need not be governed by the executive. That's an adulterous relationship. How are you going to hold the executive to account?
For the Guardian News Network, I'm Gillian Gray.
Still with us, there's more news after the break.
There's a master foodie in each of us. At Fresh Market, we've provided a canvas for your inner foodie to create a culinary masterpiece. Bring your wildest food dreams to life with inspiration from our fresh meat and produce, the largest cheese selection in the Bahamas, and aisles of specialty good-for-you foods. Try making that tuna tartare, beef bolognese, or even a nice fresh avocado toast at home. Maybe even dive into your raw foods for a fresher meal. Fresh Market, where master foodies come to be inspired.
While it's encouraging that the national COVID-19 vaccine rollout is going successfully, it's not the only precaution to reduce the spread of the virus in our communities. It's important to continue practicing safety protocols because it is our social responsibility to protect ourselves and to protect others.
Wash your hands for a friend with a weaker immune system.
Only read and share information from trusted sources to avoid unnecessary panic.
I'm gonna need y'all to avoid these large crowds. You could have loved ones at home who have underlying health conditions. Do it.
Practicing safety protocols is an act of brotherly and sisterly love.
The life you save may just be yours as well as your neighbor.
We will win.
We will win.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
Scotiabank is giving away $1,000 to 20 lucky customers who sign up and use the Scotia app or Scotia Online. It's simple. Register for the Scotia app or Scotia Online and conduct at least one transaction. Or if you have not been using Scotia Online or mobile app for 30 days or more, you will receive one entry when you become active. Scotia Online makes banking so much easier and safer when you use it to make a transfer, pay a bill, or top up your phone. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com. Bahamas.com to shop with us today.
Give me my pizza right away. Gotta move quick, no time to wait. No long lines inside the place. Little Caesars, I love the taste. Hot and ready. Just come now, you don't have to call, now you don't have to wait. Hot and ready. Large pepperoni, $7.99 every day. Hot and ready. Oh, yeah. Straight out the oven and freshly made. Hot and ready. Little Caesars is hot and ready. Little Caesars is. Get yours now at Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, and now East Street South, Pineapple Plaza. Pizza.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here, ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
A Bossip and Sana is that a day in a Catchman's Wallace with a DualSense PlayStation 5 wireless game control in hand. Or she had an Astro A10 Pro gaming headset on and she was going to town in Fortnite. I say, well, mother, you was a gamer too? She say, child, it's this COVID. I say, oh. She say, yeah, it caused me how to learn how to do gaming to communicate with all of my grandchildren them. See, I beating up on this little one right now. I say, yeah, but according to that score, you losing. She say, yeah, losing a couple of points, but I winning plenty love.
Now get your gaming gear at Sun Isles Suntronics, number 112 Montrose Avenue.
When I got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. It's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Welcome back. 368 Haitian migrants have now been cleared for deportation after pleading guilty to the charge of illegal landing. Immigration officials confirmed they are part of a group of 430 Haitian migrants rescued from Flamingo and Water Keys in the Ragged Island chain last Friday by the Defense Force after a fisherman reported seeing a partially submerged Haitian vessel in that area. We're told the convicted group of 294 men and 74 women could be deported as early as today. Well, government will move quickly to introduce a new food distribution program now that the National Food Distribution Task Force has ended. According to Minister of Social Services Obi Welshcombe, the Davis administration plans to cut spending while ensuring thousands of Bahamians who need assistance get it.
We're putting together a program that will be systemic and that nobody will be left out. We're going to have to find ways to do it. The reality is that if Bahamians are hurting, we're not going to leave anybody behind. We're going to go after taking care of the Bahamian people. We've got to cut some costs, some places. In fact, we've discovered where we're renting buildings that we're not even into the buildings in social services. We've been renting since 2018 facilities that's costing millions of dollars, but we're not in the buildings.
Welshcombe says social services is expected to inherit 4,000 people from the feeding program. The task force, headed by Susan Larson, was launched at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic to provide widespread food assistance to 57,000 households. As of this week, the program was helping 17,000 families. Though it was expected to end in August 2020, it was extended several times with $54 million already spent.
Whatever they did at the time was not, in my view, fully discussed to the extent that we were delivering what the Bahamian people really required, and did you have to spend that much, or could you have considered another approach to it? But maybe in the moments of desperation, moments of trying to find a plan, they came up with that plan. But that's okay, I don't mind the criticism. All I know is we're going to provide the Bahamian people with the needs, and we're going to meet their demands.
That's going to do it for local news. Stay with us. AP News is next.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, 2 for $4.05.
Par Excellence long grain rice, 5 pounds, $3.49. Kraft macaroni and cheese, 7 1/4 ounce, 99 cents. Sweet bananas, 99 cents per pound. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, 99 cents per pound. But this week's specials in great tote bags too for only $3. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
How the exercise going?
Not too good.
What happened?
Well, you know, Mr. Junior make me one treadmill.
Make?
You know how he like tinker. Anyhow, he built this treadmill and he hook it up to one of them clothesline, which you could spin. You know the kind what I mean?
You made a one what look like the upside down umbrella?
That's the one. He figure that since I was working out, I just power up one of them clothesline, so he hook it up direct to the treadmill.
Oh, so whilst you're walking, clothes spinning. Makes sense to me.
Makes sense to you, eh? You know how heavy wet clothes is? But anyhow, I right there struggling to get the treadmill going. Slow. She start to go now. The treadmill going and the clothes spinning. This time now I building up speed. I running now. I running. The clothes spinning fast now.
You're flying now.
Yes, and so was the clothes. You would have thought he had enough sense to screw the thing down, eh?
The clothes going?
I see where they land yet.
So what you gonna do?
Go back to Superwash where I should have gone in the first beginning.
Superwash. They washes your presses and cleans you 24/7.
At Master Technicians, we have what your family traditions need, starting with industry-best refrigerators, ranges, and ovens. We also carry Whirlpool washer and dryers, dishwashers and freezers, leading KitchenAid countertop appliances, blenders, microwaves, juicers, kettles, and KitchenAid stand mixers. We even do free delivery in New Providence or to the boat of your choice. Whether you're doing the laundry, creating new memories in the kitchen, or spending family time in front of the television, Master Technicians Limited, keeping family traditions alive for more than 50 years.
When I say Lumpkin, what is it with steel doors? Everybody asking if I got steel doors. I say, really got any? All I get is steel doors. I get 32 and 36-inch doors. I get 6-panel and 9-panel. I even get some with sunburst, and I've taken the guesswork out of my customers having to choose right color. All of my steel doors is white. Not only do I have doors, I have the wood and tools for you to hang them. And to sweeten the pot, I sell in all of my Milwaukee tools at 15% off. In answer to your question, I got a ton of doors and a ton of tools, and the tools going for 15% off.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.baxbahamas.com to register.
Scotiabank is giving away $1,000 to 20 lucky customers who sign up and use the Scotia app or Scotia Online. It's simple. Register for the Scotia app or Scotia Online and conduct at least one transaction. Or if you have not been using Scotia Online or mobile app for 30 days or more, you will receive one entry when you become active. Scotia Online makes banking so much easier and safer when you use it to make a transfer, pay a bill, or top up your phone. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information.
Stay connected. Push to talk connected from Cable Bahamas. Buy 5 push to talk devices and get one free. Stay connected with your crew wherever, whenever. Buy 5, get one free. Push to talk from Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Service provided by Alive. Believe in best. For more information, email businesssolutions@cablebahamas.com or call 601-8911. Limited time offer. Stipulations apply. This traffic.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. 8:23 the time now. Time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got a northwestward moving trough that continues to spark pockets of showers as a high pressure ridge progressively builds across the islands through tonight. Boaters should be alert for water spout activity. Beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas should exercise caution along east coast beaches due to the threat of rip currents, and everybody's being advised to remain hydrated due to high heat indices. For all areas today, forecast calls for partly mostly sunny, hot, and breezy conditions with widely scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms becoming mostly fair tonight. Small craft advisory remains in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas. Temperature-wise today, look for highs getting up to 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like 101 Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, ridging over the Bahamas will sustain moderate to locally fresh winds ahead of a frontal boundary expected to move eastward near the extreme northwest Bahamas on Friday. So ahead of that for Thursday, tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny and hot with the chance of a few isolated showers. Friday, variably cloudy, a bit breezy, and hot with isolated showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms, mainly in the northwest Bahamas. In the tropics, we're still watching that area near to us. Disorganized showers and thunderstorms continue in association with the surface trough that is now only about 100 miles northeast of the northwestern Bahamas. The system still has a very low chance, though, a 10% chance of tropical cyclone formation through the next 5 days. That's your morning blend weather check. We'll have your holiday weekend forecast for you tomorrow. Morning blend weather check brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. Time for your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, we're seeing heavy traffic on Tawnique Williams-Darling Highway westbound toward Milo Butler Highway. That's back to quite a ways there. Milo Butler Highway also busy for you northbound, heading toward that roundabout with Tawnique Williams-Darling Highway. Gladstone Road also busy from Fire Trail all the way up to JFK Drive. And Carmichael Road, heavy traffic eastbound to Blue Hill Road. Blue Hill Road really hot this morning from south of St. Vincent Road in the northbound lanes mainly, all the way up to Independence Drive, especially the closer you get to Independence Drive north of Soldier Road, you'll see that heavy traffic there. East Street South also busy, especially between East-West Highway and Soldier Road. You'll see that heavy traffic there in the northbound lanes. Eastbound on Soldier also busy to that intersection with East Street. We've got building traffic on Eastern Road westbound and on Bernard Road westbound heading towards the intersection with Wolf Road, Village Road, Soldier Road. And then pockets along Prince Charles Drive, Prince Charles heading towards Fox Hill Road, and Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue. Carmichael Road westbound also building traffic as you head to Coral Harbor Road. Those are some of your hot spots this morning. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert. Brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
mess from off the wall. Give that baby back and forth. Leave other people things alone. There's other ways to get involved. Get involved. Don't be no fool. Stay in school.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. Coming up, we're going to be talking with the RBC about their Auto Wow promotion, and we've got another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. Later in Morning Blend Business, we are talking about your health again, and part two of our discussion with Doctors Hospital about their weight loss solutions. We had a great discussion with them a few weeks ago, and we have part two on that this morning. Great reaction from you all on that segment, so we're looking forward to that discussion this morning. But we continue with what we were talking about before the break, this situation with schools, especially in the public school system, students not showing up for online learning. The Teachers Union president's been complaining about this, talking about this for months now, dating back, I think, to late last year even. And we are still here. 30%, it seems, according to the Director of Education, Marcellus Taylor, students not showing up for online learning, haven't logged in, haven't logged on, have not participated in classes at all.
Have not picked up their devices.
My goodness, as in both physically or collected them at all from the Ministry of Education or any of the schools. Right. And I think Belinda Wilson was on Z Live with Zhivargo Lang yesterday. She says if there's a class, she gave an example, if there's a class of 30 people, sometimes only 2 students have logged on. Can you imagine that? Unbelievable. What are we going to do about this situation? That's what we've been asking. All right, so we've got this call, and let's get to your text messages as well. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
My brother Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Morning to you and your guest, Chester.
Morning.
I don't always agree with you, but this morning I must confess that I support your statement or comment that we really don't care. I'll give you 2 principles why I really agree with you.
And again, it's not everybody. We're saying a lot of...
Not everybody.
It cannot be everybody, but a lot of parents are not caring enough.
Right. But my first principle on that database, it shows the state of the family. You made a point. I also agree with this point. In another 10 years, while we think we have a social disorder, in another 10 years, it's going to be worse than it is today. Principle number 1. Principle number 2. It appeared to me we have made politics our first religion rather than God and the family. And what baffled me, we all crying about excellence. The dilemma now is government change every 5 years. And we all looking for this brand new world, which we will never find. I am of the belief if we don't go back to those old traditional values and terms of family and parenting with our children. We heard last night what happened in Camp Road. I want to give my condolences to the family. Let's think about it, Dwight. A young child, I was listening to your news, a teenager experienced, I don't know if the father or whatever, but she experienced that last night. But still, politics is the order of the day. There is no outcry on terms of the erosion of the family. Dwight, if something is not wrong with this, trust me, something has to be wrong with me. Something has to be wrong with me. Politics cannot fix this. Politics cannot fix this. We have to first get the family. And I agree with you. Some families, some parents just don't care. All is about their itch, their selfish itch. Bring children into the world, and everybody break off running because of their selfish itch. And this is going to be a dilemma 10 years from now. These children with no education, no values, no structure. It's going to be worse. Thanks for supporting me, Dwight. I don't always agree with you, and I don't want no one to believe that I am compromising with Dwight. Because Dwight knows myself, if he have a point, I support him this morning.
How was it compromised? I don't understand. But okay, sure.
Some people, some people think that. Dwight, I have 5 beautiful grandchildren, 5. I celebrate them, Dwight.
It's beautiful.
And I love them. And my 2 girls know that. Please.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to run their house, but please.
Okay.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You as well. All right, we can.
He said it all there.
Agree and disagree on things. Sure.
Really good point. Really good point.
Yeah, this is very sad, and the sooner we realize and admit that that's the case, right? That this
No,
is
but politics really is our religion.
and that people are, even with the children they have, very selfishly minded. They are all in it for themselves, and the children are just accessories, unfortunately, sometimes.
Accessories. I'm sure they have worse words for them.
I'm trying not to say them, but yeah. Okay, let's read some of the text messages. Someone says here, parents should be held accountable and charged. Okay, well. There's another one here. There are much easier and cheaper ways to do remote learning that would have reached 100% of the students. We just choose the most expensive route, like developed countries. The time we accept that we are a developing country and look for simpler, more not sophisticated solutions, like a VW versus a BMW. What now? What? They're all expensive to repair if something goes wrong, though. Okay, but what are your solutions? I don't know. What have worked? What could have worked in a virtual? I don't understand. Tell us, please. We'd love to know. I'm sure the Ministry of Education would love to know as well. This one says here, they must prove that they are educating their kids. This is supposed to be a real country. What now? Okay. How could the director think they did a good job providing devices if they can't give a number on how many devices were given out and how many do not have devices? It's a tricky question. There's parts of it that are sure, but also, again, this goes back to parents taking an active role, right?
Yeah,
so if you know you don't have a device, go to the school. Go to the school and talk to somebody.
If you see something, say something.
Right? So, I mean, what do you want? Do you want someone to come to your house to deliver the devices?
That's what they want.
And I know someone's thinking, well, they could come to your house and deliver flyers at election time. They could do all. Yeah. That's true. That's true. But this is much more.
They gotta separate those people from the people who work in the public service.
But this is important. I mean, yes, who's running the country is important too. But this is your child. This is your child. You have to take an active role. You have to go out and seek it. And let your child see that you care that much that you have to go out and seek it. You're not going to wait for it to come to you, right? Because it's important. It's important. Oh, my goodness. Okay, this other one here. The situation with the corrections commissioner. What? That was yesterday's show. Is this delayed text? What's going on? Yeah. Anyway, can we get clarity on social services minister that millions of dollars are spent on buildings not being utilized? If this is indeed true, I cry shame. Just drive around New Providence. My roommate is a teacher who works from home and is constantly frustrated with the LMS, the lack of permissions he has, and also anonymous verbal abuse that are received in the class chats, including a threat on his life. What?
Interesting.
Now, that's a different situation, though. I mean, that's horrible. But, I mean, that would have happened if you were in the classroom, too, I suspect.
Well, not anonymous.
Right, it would have been not a laughing matter. But, again, it's not a... It's a terrible situation we have. And it goes back to the parents, too, though. Right? That your child would feel comfortable threatening the teacher? Could you get away with that, Chester? If your parents heard that you threatened the teacher's life?
I wouldn't be here on
right?
with you.
Huh? And everything go on? Okay. Sure. And another one here. Why can't we put the classroom on the national television for all students like Cuba does?
How many channels we need for that?
Y'all know you would find an excuse as to why that's a problem, too. There'd be an excuse about that one. Let's take this call, and we've got to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Nice talking, my brother. Hey, Dwight, I got 2 personal shots I feel good. And I say anything from last year. See that voice line that's wasting money. They need to stop that. You know what I mean? All the churches here, you know, I mean, they need to use this auditorium, Dwight. And the gym could use. And the old school there by Taco, by BEC. Open it back up. That's the voice, you know, boy, learning about that. And Dwight. And I also
how would that work, though? I mean, that's the same. We're trying to avoid unvaccinated people being in big groups together. The problem is the pandemic.
That's right. My thing is this, right? You know, the young people look at their healthy games. Like my thing, right? We live with the age. We live with the age pandemic. We need to learn to live with these things.
No. Don't do that. AIDS. Why do you all keep doing this? It's not the same.
Right, disease. The word is running out. The word thing is still happening in the world.
But don't bring up AIDS, though. I can't.
Right then. We just need to think out of the box. I never took a flu shot in my life. You know why? I try taking my body, swim, I exercise, I try to eat healthy. You see, and another thing I want to say too also is that with these students, I mean, these parents who got a bunch of devil who children, man, your old man is the back us up in school. And I was scared even tell my mother or my daddy that we need to discipline some boy and these boys for this country with these stupid foolishness, man. We need to fix this country. And this is what the youth like. I time take my God.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let's go to the break. This text here as we go. Is that 30% primary or high school or straight across the board? Not sure, but I suspect it gets worse the older you get with the students, right? The higher up in the grades they go. I don't know, though. That's a good question. It would be good to find out. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking with RBC. They've got a special promotion going on. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Get involved. Don't be no fool. Stay in school. Let your mind become a tool. Church were made for fools to be locked away from society.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
Reimagine Auto Wow with RBC Financing. Drive home happiness with RBC Financing affordable packages. Experience the RBC difference with up to 100% financing, extended repayment terms, and step-by-step guidance from a team of mobile experts. Find out more at rbc.com/Caribbean/autoloan. Reimagine Auto Wow with RBC.
Physical distancing isn't the same as being socially distant. I know that sometimes it can be a bit difficult not being able to engage in the in-person social activities that we did before, whether that be going to the movies or just hanging out in person. But remember that different does not mean distant. As the generation of technology, we can get creative in planning virtual parties with friends and family. Play online games with friends. Plan virtual family parties. Start a cooking competition among cousins, or do a virtual dance party. If you do gather in person, however, remember to avoid gathering in large groups. Always ensure that you wear your mask to cover your mouth and nose. And remember, wash and sanitize your hands often.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
What happened to you? You look like you lost your paycheck.
Man, I just realized I got scammed out of a bunch of money. They said I won this contest and just needed me to send them some money so I could collect. I mean, to expedite something. Or was it to smooth the process?
Man, you're smarter than that. Protect yourself against scams and fraud by following these tips. If you know you didn't enter a competition, you can't win. Never pay to receive a cash prize. If you're being asked, you're being scammed. Check trusted internet sites for verification of information given to you. Do not give your banking details to people you don't know. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Monitor your bank account regularly for any questionable transactions. Get more information at getmoneysmartbahamas.com.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.vaxbahamas.com to register.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO. Growing wealth for future generations.
For 38 years, Strachan Commercial Pest Services has provided trained certified technicians while using environmentally safe, industry-standard products. Pests can devastate your business. Together, we will ensure adequate sanitation standards and safe pest exclusion methods. Uncontrolled pest problems lead to significant financial loss due to food contamination, business disruption, and stock waste. Strachan provides detailed solutions protecting your business and reputation. Strachan, #1 in pest control services.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Get a fast car. I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. You get a fast car. I got a plan to get
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Chester Robards, and RBC has an Auto Wow promotion, and here to tell us all about this, we're very pleased to welcome back to the show Aaron Hanna, Assistant Branch Manager and Manager of the Auto Finance team. Aaron, great talking with you always. Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Bahamas. Thanks for having me.
All right, Auto Wow. Tell us about that.
Imagine Auto Wow with RBC Financing. Listen, we're back at it again. You know, we've been frequenting your show when we have our feature Fridays, and we thought it was appropriate to come back on and let the public know that, listen, we have reimagined auto financing, and we have a campaign going on now. And believe it or not, it's gotten better. You know, we have much better interest rates. Still up to 100% financing, up to 8 years to repay. But it is a limited time offer. So, we wanted to come on your show and let the public know that, listen, now is the time to consider purchasing a new vehicle. The campaign is on. A lot of new models are coming out usually around this time. So it's a good time to kind of shop around and see what you can qualify for.
Okay, all right. So you said some important things just now. Interest rates, of course, everybody's concerned. What are we talking about? What type of interest rates for these loans?
The best interest rate in town.
That's all you're gonna tell us?
We have a TED package. We do have
right.
we have a TED package. So it's best though that you sit with an auto finance specialist, and we can tell you exactly what we can do once we have that conversation. And we have that auto pre-qualification tool. It really only takes about 60 seconds to pre-qualify, and within 24 hours, you're contacted by a member of our team who can provide you with those additional details.
Yeah. So I guess the interest rates will depend a lot on what you're dealing with in terms of how many loans you have and what your financial picture looks like.
It can vary. There are conditions that apply. So it's based on the client's profile, and it's also based on the vehicle that they're looking at purchasing.
Right. Okay. All right. And then you mentioned limited time. How limited? How much time do we have to act on this?
Well, currently the offer expires at the end of the month, so October 31st. So right now we have about 4 weeks to, get you in, take a look at, that much needed new vehicle, and we can turn it around in as little as 3 to 4 days.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's very exciting.
So you need to get on that, Dwight.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So, what is out there for people who are looking? I know you've got your finger on the pulse. What are some of the things that you think people should be looking at, and types of vehicles? And a lot of people talking about hybrids and electrics now. What does that make a difference at all? What can you tell us?
Okay, so what I can say is, again, it's like Coke and Pepsi. It's your preference. You have some people who may be looking for a small, compact vehicle, and then you may be a family person. You need space. You need a little SUV. What I can say is that our local dealerships have a variety. Something that comes to mind that's new to the market. Executive Motors has brought in a Toyota Corolla Cross, and it's pretty much like a SUV Corolla. It's very nice, very sleek. It's a hybrid. So that's something definitely worth checking out. We also have, Friendly Ford. They have the Bronco, the Ford Bronco Sport. I know it was an older model that was brought back, revived. It's a nice sleek car. It's again another must see. At Bahamas Bus and Truck, they have the Jeep models. The Cherokee is there, as well as I think the Liberty, it's called, or the Renegade. So it's another SUV, but it's a nice, small size, mid-size SUV vehicle. Definitely worth taking a look at. Jeep brand is known for its quality and off-road and that sort of stuff. So if you're looking for an SUV, those are a couple of the SUVs that come to mind. If you're looking for a more affordable vehicle, Sandpin Motors is the way to go. They have, a wide selection of Nissan and Kia models, Volkswagen as well. Volkswagen has they have a mid-size SUV, the T-Cross, as well as the smaller vehicles, the sedans. So definitely another dealership you want to check on. I think their prices are actually awesome. So if you're looking for, something foreign made, it's German. They brag on high quality vehicles. So it's definitely something that you would want to check out. It's very affordable.
Yeah.
We also have our partners down at Nassau Motor Company. That's Honda and Chevy. Chevy has this new SUV, and I think it's a Traverse. It's another must-see, beautiful vehicle. The options are out there, and if you need help with making a decision, the best thing to do is fill out the auto pre-qualification tool. Let one of our auto finance specialists contact you. You let them know what you're looking for, and we'll be happy to assist you finding that new vehicle that you would like.
Yeah, excellent. What else do people need to keep in mind if they are in the market? What do they need to bring to you or show you, or what some of the things they may need to fill out that form?
Well, to fill out the form, you would want to have an understanding of what your salary is like on a monthly basis, an understanding of some of your debt obligations, your loan payments, credit card payments. Those are some of the basic information that goes into the tool, along with your personal information, your name, email, telephone number. And what it does is it gives you an idea of what you can qualify for. And so once you fill that out, our auto finance team reaches out to you, typically the same day, but definitely within 24 hours. And we get the conversation going. And I forgot to mention, Dwight, I totally forgot to mention my partners down there on Gladstone Road, Easy Car Sales.
Oh, yes.
Again, that is, electric vehicles are the way to go now for a lot of people, especially if you're environmental conscious. They have a very, very wide selection of vehicles, right? From compact vehicles right up to luxury SUVs. Definitely, a must-see. A lot of people, I don't think, have had the opportunity to drive EV if they don't understand. So it's definitely a conversation you would want to have. They're a very robust team, and they're open to coming. They're open to setting up test drives. You can come by, learn a little bit about it. There's a lot of information out there for you to see. So also another dealership that you would want to check out.
Definitely.
A lot of car dealers have been saying they're running out of cars or haven't gotten any in. Have you heard from them?
Yeah. So globally, there has been a supply issue as well as shipping issues. As you know, the pandemic has affected the manufacturers quite significantly due to closures, or even them, using their machinery to do other things to assist. But there has been, I must say, a shortage in supply. But right now there's still a wide selection of vehicles, and they pretty much get shipments in almost every month or on a weekly basis. But it's a challenge that we work through. The pandemic has brought on all sorts of challenges, right?
Yes,
and so
indeed.
we're just trying to cope with those and try to find ways to still get our clients what they want.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the good thing is people are still buying cars like crazy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, cars are much needed, and we really think about it. Private transportation has become increasingly sought after in light of what's been going on. People are trying to avoid using public transportation because, the risk is a little higher. You're interacting with lots more people who may not want to respect the protocol. So, it's best. A lot of people find it easier right now to look at getting a new car. And, it's just the way things have been happening right now.
Yeah.
Outside of this promotion, have you seen a lot of people come in for car loans?
Yeah. I would say we've had a fair amount of people looking to get new cars. Again, it's just because auto transportation is very necessary. Cars take us to those life events, the birthday celebrations. My mom had a birthday last night. Shout out to my mom.
All right.
Happy
It takes us to those anniversaries and the dinners and, graduations. Cars are very, very important for a lot of people. And so, it provides that sense of independence and the ability to just move around and get things done when you need to. So, people understand the importance, and we've been trying to encourage people to look at newer vehicles, particularly provided by our dealerships here, because, they have very competitive pricing, and they come with warranties. They come with, lots of time they come with free licensing and inspection. And so there's significant benefit or upside to purchasing locally. So we've been trying to encourage all of our clients to consider purchasing new.
Yeah, sounds good. How can people contact you, Aaron, or get more information about the Auto Wow promotions you have going on at RBC?
Well, definitely anyone that's interested, they can contact me directly on my cell. It would be 357-8555. Again, the number 357-8555. Or you can visit us online at www.rbc.com/drive easy. And it'll take you to the auto pre-qualification tool. It takes about 60 seconds. You fill out the information, hit send. We'll contact you within 24 hours. If you're unable to find it, go to any search engine and you type in RBC auto pre-qualification, and that tool will pop up, and we can get you on. We can start the journey to getting you behind the driver's seat.
Well, look, it sounds excellent, and as Chester says, that people are buying. You go on a lot one day, go back 2 days later, those cars are gone. Those cars are gone. So
And
this is
now with RBC and their deal, a lot more people might be buying it.
So it's
Turning them
interesting.
around quick.
Interesting times. Thank you very much, Aaron. Hannah, always a pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you, Dwight.
All right. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with the winners of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. Will be you. You'll find out when we get back. Stay with us.
Who's gonna drive you home tonight? Who's gonna pick you up when you fall?
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
For 38 years, Strachan Commercial Pest Services has provided trained certified technicians while using environmentally safe industry standard products. Pests can devastate your business. Together, we will ensure adequate sanitation standards and safe pest exclusion methods. Uncontrolled pest problems lead to significant financial loss due to food contamination, business disruption, and stock waste. Strachan provides detailed solutions protecting your business and reputation. Strachan, #1 in pest control services.
What happened to you? You look like you lost your paycheck.
Man, I just realized I got scammed out of a bunch of money. They said I won this contest and just needed me to send them some money so I could collect. I mean, to expedite something. Or was it to smooth the process?
Man, you're smarter than that. Protect yourself against scams and fraud by following these tips. If you know you didn't enter a competition, you can't win. Never play to receive a cash prize. If you're being asked, you're being scammed. Check trusted internet sites for verification of information given to you. Do not give your banking details to people you don't know. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Monitor your bank account regularly for any questionable transactions. Get more information at getmoneysmartbahamas.com.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.pafbahamas.com to register.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, National Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Hello everyone, I'm Charlene Ferguson. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe has called on young men in this country to abandon a life of crime, which he argued leads nowhere. That after the latest shooting in the capital took the life of one man and left his teenage daughter seriously wounded. Police said just before 9 last night, a gunman opened fire on the family's car while it was parked outside of a business along Apache Alley off Kemp Road.
The adult male who was in the driver's seat succumbed to his injuries on scene. The juvenile female who suffered injuries in her abdomen was transported to the Princess Margaret Hospital.
At the scene, Monroe begged men engaged in criminal activity to stop the nonsense, and he called on the community to raise people who make the job of police easier. In other news, the opposition of Free National Movements has Prime Minister Philip Davis's defense of his character reference for convict and Island Luck co-founder Adrian Fox is reprehensible, unseemly, and deeply damaging to the Bahamas. Davis has said he does not regret writing to the U.S. court in support of Fox and would do it again. But the affidavit in a statement called out defiance in light of the charge against Fox astonishing. The party added that it could prove particularly embarrassing to the country if Davis or other former and current cabinet ministers who also wrote to the court on Fox's behalf are called to testify in that court. Fox, charged with aiding and abetting the grossly negligent operation of a vessel, is due to be sentenced next Friday. And we should learn more about the Davis administration's legislative agenda this morning when Governor General Sir C.A. Smith delivers the speech from the throne. COVID protocol means this opening of Parliament will not take place in the traditional setting of Parliament Square, but instead the Houses of Parliament will meet in separate rooms at the Bahama Resort in an attempt at social distancing for the hundreds of persons who will be in attendance. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we are back here with Morning Blend, and it's time, you know what that music means, it's time for the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle drawing. Woo! And we've got some great prizes as always for today. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Let me tell you what the prizes first, though. The prizes, oh man.
I know who won't be.
Yeah, you do? All right, the second place prize. This is second place prize number 2. A $50 gift certificate to Blanco Bleach.
Hey, everybody needs that.
That's useful. Very useful.
Come on
especially
down.
in the pandemic. Prize number 1, though. 4 passes to Bahama Water Park.
Oh, nice.
All right? What do they call it?
Baja
Bay. Baja Bay. So 4 passes to Baja Bay. That will be fun. And it's very hot now. It's still hot even here in October, so this is a great time.
Breezy some days, but it's still hot. Yeah.
Still hot. Blowing hot air around.
Yeah,
that's what it's doing. All right, so we got these 2 prizes to give away. Let's do the Blanco Bleach prize first. The $50 gift certificate goes to the drum roll. Gail Munnings.
Hey.
Gail Munnings, you've won a $50 gift certificate to Blanco Bleach. They got a lot of great products there for you, so you'll have you put that to good use. Gail Munnings. Right. All right, the U.S. Embassy, our partners, are going to get back to you very shortly on how to redeem your prize. And then the grand prize today, the 4 passes to Bahama Water Park, Baja Bay.
Baja Bay.
You going to do that again? It's always these names I don't know if I can pronounce.
You can do it.
Is it Equel? Equel Adderley, right. Equuel.
I would say.
Equel Adderley, you've won 4 passes to Baja Bay, Bahamas Water Park.
Congratulations, Equel.
There's 2 of us in the studio right now. Producers 3, so we could go with you, Equel.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what you want, but or not. But congratulations.
All things being equal.
Oh boy!
Sorry, I had to. I don't know.
Oh boy!
I like the name though.
Equal Adelaide, congratulations, and to Gail Munnings, congratulations, all of you. Thank you so much. And remember, you can have your name called if you are registered to take part in this Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And all you have to do is, if you are vaccinated or even partially vaccinated, if you're vaccinated abroad, whatever, as long as you're vaccinated, you can register at vaxbahamas.com. vaxbahamas.com, enter, and you could win. Every day we're doing drawings here on Morning Blend, Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, we thank the U.S. Embassy for partnering with us on this and all the wonderful prizes from all the many who are taking part in the raffle. Thank you to you as well.
Yeah.
So again, register vaxbahamas.com.
Get vaxxed.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and be back with Morning Blend Business. We're talking about your health and weight loss solutions. That's coming up in just a bit. Stay with us.
Let's celebrate. It's all right. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Changing Senate rules to raise the debt ceiling? I'm Jackie Quinn with an AP News Minute. Senate Democrats are exploring a rules change to bypass Republican refusals to extend the nation's debt limit before the October 18th deadline. Our Mike Gracia reports.
Previously resistant to such a maneuver, President Joe Biden told reporters,
I think that's a real possibility.
Doing away with the filibuster rule would lower the threshold for passage to 50.
The Biden administration's trying to help people on the verge of eviction from public housing, requiring tenants be given information about how to find emergency rental assistance. A police officer in Des Moines shot and wounded a woman, advancing toward him with a knife, refusing orders to drop it. Investigators say it appears a ship anchor not only moved an undersea pipeline in California, but also ripped a gash, according to the Coast Guard.
13-inch split.
Asian stocks were lower. I'm Jackie Quinn.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, October 6th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And we are having a part two of a conversation that we started last month about weight issues, mainly obesity in children, and talking about weight loss solutions with Doctors Hospital. Great to continue that discussion this morning. We have returning with us Dr. Jan Martin, Dr. Ariane Davis-Simmons, and Dr. Ranja. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Great to have you back with us.
Good morning. Hi. Good morning, George.
All right. Thanks again. All right. So since the conversation that we had a few weeks ago, the reaction has been very, very, very good and surprising. The number of people calling and saying they wanted to hear the show again and they wanted more information. And what's been most surprising for me, though, is the number of people who seem to be surprised by some of the things that were being said. And we take it for granted, many of us, that people know these things. They know that this is not a healthy lifestyle to be maintaining. This is too much food, or that you're eating too much of the wrong thing. But it does seem like that is not correct, that a lot of people don't know that what they're doing is likely to end in obesity and health issues. What really is happening out there? How much of a lack of information is there, ignorance on these matters?
Well, let me start by introducing our topic this morning. Good morning, Chester.
Good morning. Good morning.
In the Bahamas, we have an increase of childhood obesity. And the increase of childhood obesity has really caused a lot of health issues that can become chronic as children age. Mm-hmm. And some of those health issues we're seeing in children are hypertension, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, bone disorders as they grow. And these are primarily due to lifestyle. These are lifestyle illnesses that can be avoided. And a lot of the avoidance tactics we're going to talk about today, it starts with eating. Mm-hmm. What we put into our mouths. We are literally what we eat. And studies are showing, there's a lot of studies out there that are showing that if a parent is overweight or obese, 9 times out of 10, their child or children have a problem with their weight from childhood.
Right.
And that is simply because the home environment is expressly important for developing healthy behaviors in children that carry into adulthood. And so it is important for us in this Bahamas today to address it, not only because of COVID, but way before COVID. In 2019, our children between the ages of 5 and 19, 21% of them were obese and 45% were overweight. And I'll stop here and let Dr. David Simmons, speak to the health issues that come out of childhood overweight and obesity.
Yeah.
Good morning. So in terms of with obesity, there's multiple health issues. So we think of the classic metabolic syndrome. So just being obese increases the risk of high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes or prediabetes. It also leads to heart disease if those things are untreated. And we are seeing these classic diseases that we think of adults, that occur in adults, in children. And that's all from obesity. Outside of those metabolic diseases, obesity itself results in hormonal issues. So in boys, we're seeing delayed puberty. In girls, we are seeing premature puberty. So puberty happening before the age of 9 in obese girls. And then as children become larger, there's also, they can develop lung issues, things like asthma, obstructive lung disease. They can also develop bone diseases where there's bowing of the bones, changes in the hip. And then not to say about the psychological issues, the teasing that comes out of children being obese. So that can lead to depression, anxiety. It can lead to binge eating disorders where they're eating in secret. So it has lots of lifelong effects with in terms of childhood obesity.
Mm-hmm. All right. So as Dr. Jan mentioned, so we're seeing this from parents and it's passing on. Going back to my initial question, so is it ignorance or are we just what's the matter? What's happening here? Why is that happening? Is it because it doesn't matter? We need the food. It's comforting. It tastes good. Do people really not know that this could lead to a problem?
That's a good question. And I think in some cases it's ignorance as it relates to parents and adults in general understanding how food works in the body and what types of food to choose so that we could prevent certain diseases or prevent exposure to, say, metabolic syndrome or prediabetes. And so there's a bit of ignorance, but in most cases, it's cultural. It's our cultural environment, it's our social environment, and it's the food that we were brought up on and what we continue to eat and give ourselves and our children. And over the last 15 to 20 years, we've had an influx of fast food industries, different restaurants, and not only that came with the influx and the high carb diets, the fried foods, the palatable, the tasty foods, all of that causes persons to eat more, to want more. In addition to that, with the influx of these fast food restaurants, the large sizes and the large portions, the portions have increased. And over the years, with the increase in portions, our sizes have increased, both in adults and primarily in children, as we're discussing children today. So, there's a bit of ignorance as it relates to understanding how food affects the body, how to prepare food so that it's still palatable and not as fattening or as dangerous to our bodies. And then there is just influx of the environment, the culture, and just the social environment we live in. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned the serving sizes. I mean, people will scoff often at what's recommended on some of the products that we buy, but tell us more about that and how dangerous it is to go over the recommended serving size.
Well, it is dangerous simply because in a study that, and I'll relate this to a study that was done in the Bahamas with school-age children. What they found was that the children ate what was put on their plates. And, as children, our parents would say to us, eat all that food because there are many people starving in the world. Or, and in some cases, in low-income homes, parents would say to their children, I don't know when you're going to get your next meal.
Wow.
And so it came out of areas like that. I still work with adults who go back to their childhood and they remember their parents saying to them, giving them large portions and expecting them to eat those large portions as children. I don't know if Dr. David Simmons has anything to add to that question.
No, I think, Johnny, you cover it in terms of, everything is the supersizing world, bigger is better. And we, unfortunately, are taking that concept into the food arena, which it shouldn't be. And what I try to tell patients is food is fuel, right? So food is meant for energy. And if you're taking excess energy more than your body needs, it's converted into fat. So it's just a concept that we kind of need to hammer in. And it starts from early ages. So this whole concept of cleaning your plate is obviously a misnomer. If the child says they're full, then you should let them stop. But that means you're not going to get, you're not going to get dessert, you're not going to get extra snacks afterwards. But if you're full, that's your body's cue saying enough is enough. It's putting a break. And there are hormones that control that. So hormones in your stomach that talk to your brain that says, hey, that's enough, let's stop. So by overfeeding, those signals get misconstrued. And then that can lead to just overeating and obesity in children and also in adults.
Isn't it also that we sometimes mistake hunger for other things?
It's right. That's a very good question, Chester. In a lot of behavioral studies, what they're finding is that persons are hungry for other things, that their brain and their stomach, because our brain and our stomach, the hormones like Dr. David Simmons mentioned, they all act together. And we bury a lot of our feelings, our emotions, and when we're feeling bored, when we're feeling anxious, when we're feeling depressed, it is something we could control. We could control the food, we could control eating, but we cannot seem to get a grip of the emotional pain that we're feeling. And so we use food as a substitute to replace what we're lacking in our emotional state. And so, yes, there is a lot, but children, remember now, children don't have that higher sense of emotional learning as yet, but adults do. And so parents then are feeding their children out of their own lifestyle behaviors, be they healthy or non-healthy.
Right. I was also wondering about dehydration.
Sorry, pardon, say that again?
I was also wondering if dehydration is like you might feel hungry, but maybe you're just lacking, water or fluids. Is that a thing as well?
That is true. That is true. And that is why we encourage persons to be sipping water throughout the day. First thing in the morning, have a glass of water, because during our sleep, believe it or not, we're sweating. We may not wake up in the bed with the bed wet, but we're releasing liquids. We're dehydrating as we're sleeping because we're releasing toxins. And so when we wake up, we need to replenish, and we start replenishing from the moment our eyes wake up. And we should be sipping water throughout the day. When we feel hungry and we know we have just got through eating less than an hour ago, then it is because we are certainly dehydrated in most times. You're correct.
How much of a role does you mentioned culture before, but people who will say, if you're too skinny, you're not healthy, you need to have some meat on your bones, especially with children, and of course older people as well. How much of a problem does that present in what we're facing here with obesity?
The thing about it is, we come from an African diaspora, okay? Our base is African, and a lot of our culture is based around body size, and that's the image we portray. Years ago, many years ago, if you have 2 meats on a Sunday, then you're doing well financially.
Wow.
And I think that's where the culture comes out. It comes from that African culture. The larger you are, the more successful you are, the more money you may have. And so that's what you're giving out to society. And unfortunately, we may not think that that's what we're doing, but it's ingrained in our culture. And I think Dr. Renger may be able to speak to not only our culture and tie in the Indian culture way of looking at food and size as well.
Dr. Renger, I'd love to hear your perspective on this.
Yeah, hi. Dr. Janet is completely right about that. Our cultures are very similar in that aspect. In India, I grew up most of my life in India, and including my own family, I can tell you that it's a sign. A big baby, a big child, is a sign of wealth.
My goodness.
And prosperity. Yeah, and nobody cares about how healthy the child is, or how talented or whatever. You have to be obese or overweight, literally, and not just for children, even for adults as well. Actually,
right.
For the longest time, until recently, now we got more awareness going on, and there's more people going, gym or whatever, exercising, and we're more aware of what's going on. But for the longest time, that was a measure of like a family's wealth or prosperity.
Are we seeing that changing here? Are we seeing, or I suspect it isn't changing as quickly as you all would like?
I don't think it's changing. In fact, even in India, for that matter, it is changing for the worse. Basically, it's, the incidence of obesity is it's on the rise. It's increasing.
Yeah.
I don't know any society that's actually reported a decrease in obesity incidence.
All right.
And bear in mind the obesity problem that we're facing today. Over the last 2 years, with COVID coming in 2020, and still a pandemic in 2021, we're nearing the end. We see an influx, an increase of overweight and obese children, and overweight and obese adults. And it is simply because I think we've gone beyond now the wealth, we look wealthy. I think it is people are eating more because they're less active. They're spending more time in front of the screen. I mean, take for instance now, we're not in studio we are, but bodily, we're not in studio. And so when we come off of this meeting with you, we go into meetings with other persons, with patients. And so we're sitting, we're not moving about. So imagine children now who have to spend a great part of their day in front of a computer screen from 9 to say 3 with just shorter breaks. Because in school now, they get out of the classroom and they're running around with their peers. But the screen time, in addition to that, when they come out of the classroom from being on the Zoom meeting for a great part of the day, they're still using those handheld computer games and they're still not going outside. And so I think it's a compilation of culture. Now the pandemic has increased sedentary lifestyles. And with that, we keep going back and forth to the refrigerator. Meanwhile, nothing has changed from the last time you went there a couple minutes ago, but we keep snacking and we're snacking mindlessly and we're eating mindlessly. And if we as adults would, spend more time practicing awareness of portions, how we prepare the food. Yes, money may be an issue, but you can take that corned beef and make it healthy by bringing in some cabbage and some onions and instead of stopping off and spending, say, $10, $20 on a meal that's going to feed the family in one session, we can go and buy a chicken or some chicken wings that will cost us about $5. Add some rice to that, add some vegetables to that. We may have leftovers for the next day. Right. So it is ignorance. And it is just cultural.
Yeah, wow. All right, so we're going to talk about the solutions when we get back. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we know we had started last time with Dr. Ranga. When it gets to that serious point, we're going to talk about what to do before that and get to more with Dr. Ranga as well. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're going to be back. Stay with us.
Gal, can you believe this? We are now the patrol queens of the neighborhood. We now large and in charge. So we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too? Of course we can. But we could be in deep trouble if they find out. We need to report what we see, Beulah. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami. So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which gang, or who disturbing the peace with the loud music and the motorcycles. Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody gonna want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal. So what we waiting on? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crack Crime Bahamas app. Stop the crime before it's your time. This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Loss Adjusters.
Final moments of our traffic reports this morning, and everywhere is crowded all at once. We still have hefty traffic lines attempting to leave Gladstone Road. It's a real slow ride along that route getting out there on JFK. Samalabala Highway has had some assistance where you've got a lengthy traffic line on Tony's $1 Million West Lane that's being held up to allow Samalabala traffic to get out. But both lanes right now still have consistent heavy traffic, so it's a slow process to get all of them from within that area. Getting out of Carmichael Road onto Blue Hill Road, not bad. Minor slow-ups along the way to get through the traffic light intersection. Headed along Blue Hill Road as you head into the city, you've got the slow up to get over the hill, and then once clear of all of that, then you're pretty much making an easy run into the city along Blue Hill Road. Out of the south along East Street, not bad at this time. Coming out of Prince Charles Drive from the east, not bad at this time. Eastern Road, though, heavy traffic flows from far back beyond Fox Hill Road. Consistent traffic line all the way almost to the exit onto Shirley Street. You've got this heavy flow of traffic along that route there. So it's going to take some time, I guess, for that to clear as well. Downtown, pretty much busy for the day, I guess, getting ready for today's activity. And coming out of the west, it gets slow once you hit the Saunders Beach roundabout. It's a slow process from there, riding into the city. So for the slow start we saw earlier, it's pretty much busy as we got closer to the 9 o'clock hour, and now that we are after 9. Still a lot of traffic hung out there on the morning commute. This National Traffic Report this hour will be brought to you by the folks over at J.S. Johnson. You're invited to check out their online service center app. There you're able to view your policy details, check outstanding balances, report a claim, and more. Sign up today at jsjohnsononline.com. With the right sky look at traffic in real time. I'm PANN.
Michael was in a horrible car accident. Prudential Loss Adjusters managed his claim and got him the settlement he deserved. Sierra's roof received hurricane damage. Thanks to Prudential, she and her kids are happy with their claim settlement. Tammy fractured her ankle in a slip and fall. Prudential saved her time, money, and peace of mind. Prudential Loss Adjusters are here for you whenever a tragedy strikes. Call 322-4026 now.
Protect the things that really matter to you. Shield Insurance is the insurance company that grows with you to meet your insurance needs through this beautiful adventure we call life. From automobile to home to life and health, boat, liability, construction, and business insurance, Shield has affordable policies, flexible options, friendly service, and the expertise to protect your hard-earned assets. Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau, call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAO. After being appraised by BPL's board of its plant rate reduction bond, Minister of Works and Utilities Alfred Sayers says the feasibility and rationale behind the measure needs to be explained. The utility company had hoped to place the RRB request rate reduction bond to raise more than $500 million before the end of the year, but first needed cabinet approval and legislative amendments to facilitate the fundraising activity. However, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis dissolved Parliament and called a general election before those changes could be made. Sayers telling reporters outside cabinet yesterday that it would be premature to make a conclusion at this point, and said that more of that explanation needs to be happening. You can read more about his comments in today's Guardian Business section. That the Bahamas was only briefly mentioned in the bombshell Pandora papers released this week by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists shows how far the jurisdiction has come toward compliance with ever-changing international finance regulations. That's according to Attorney General Ryan Pinder. The ICIJ revealing that it obtained millions of leaked financial records of the world's richest people, indicating they had hid billions of dollars in assets in offshore havens. Many countries, at the behest of the international watchdogs like the European Union and Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, have implemented laws making it illegal for their citizens or residents to hide their fortunes in offshore jurisdictions. The Bahamas, unlike its financial services counterparts in larger, more powerful jurisdictions, has continued to face the heavy hand of international bodies which have for years blacklisted the jurisdiction for not having compliant legislative framework to prevent avoidance. But Pinder saying that this shows that we've made great progress. More on his comments in today's Guardian Business section as well. And CEO of BTC, Andre Foster, defending his company's marked improvement in service delivery on both the fixed and mobile sides after Minister of Foreign Affairs and Public Service Fred Mitchell publicly criticized the performance of the telecommunications companies. During an appearance on Guardian Radio's The Political Review with Quincy Parker, Mitchell saying the PLP is dissatisfied with the state of the digital platforms and infrastructure in the country. He said the phone companies have, quote, not done an adequate job in supporting the infrastructure right now. Calls are dropping, there's overcrowding, the quality of the sound is poor, but it appears that the companies are interested in selling cell phones as opposed to investing in infrastructure. Mitchell said his party has talked about installing a public fiber optic network to get the country to 5G capacity as quickly as possible. Foster, though, saying BTC has invested heavily in its own fiber network, which it continues to expand across the archipelago. Again, more on this in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, it's been an autumn of inconvenience in Britain, marked by empty gas pumps, worker shortages, and gaps on store shelves. None of that got a mention from Prime Minister Boris Johnson today, as he brushed off the economic bumps and said the UK would emerge from Brexit and the coronavirus pandemic as a more productive and dynamic nation. Johnson telling the Conservative Party's annual conference that he'd end decades of drift and dither and tackle long-term structural weaknesses, especially reliance on low-cost labor from abroad. Relaxed and excited in front of a friendly crowd, Johnson did not note that much of that drift and dither came under Conservative governments. The party has been in power for two-thirds of the past 4 decades. He extolled the Brexit freedoms brought by Britain's exit from the European Union, even as shortages of truck drivers and other workers cause economic hiccups. Brexit ended the right of EU citizens to work visa-free in Britain and has left growing gaps in the economy. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday. Your market movers: Commonwealth Bank moving 5,000 shares, down 7 cents to $2.60. Doctors Hospital moving 1,000, up 5 cents to $9. Bank of the Bahamas moving $7.60, unchanged at $1.54. Consolidated Water unchanged at $2.37. Emira Incorporated unchanged at $11.26. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,067.43, down 7.17. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And we're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Chester Robards. Just a reminder that we're going to be going live at 10 o'clock to the opening of Parliament. You'll be able to listen to it all right here on Guardian Radio, so stay tuned for that. We continue our discussion this morning, though, about obesity, especially obesity in children. We are talking with Doctors Hospital. We've got Dr. Jan Martin, Dr. Ariane Davis-Simmons, and Dr. Ranga with us this morning. And before we get to how we tackle the solutions, we've got some text messages coming in. Someone says here, what about the effects of refined sugar and high fructose corn syrup on the liver and breaching the blood-brain barrier, causing microbial cells? I won't even try to pronounce this word here, but the damaging effects of these things, these other products that we are consuming in great quantities, and how much is that contributing to obesity and to other problems that we're seeing, health issues in the country?
I would just speak to the high fructose corn syrup and the sugars and allow Dr. Davis-Simmons to speak to the consequential disease states that come out of high fructose corn sugar and other sugars. Studies, there's so many studies out there that confirm that sugar causes a lot of health conditions in the body, namely different cancers as well. Cancer cells tend to live off of sugar, a sugar environment, a glucose environment in the body. And so we get that environment from the foods we eat, which are the sweetened drinks, the high carbohydrate foods, the white breads, the white flours, the pastries, and then of course we're eating large portions and large sizes. And so those sugars cause diseases in the body that not only affect the liver, it starts it starts a metabolic syndrome that affects our pancreas, our kidneys, and our heart. And I'll let Dr. Ariane David-Simmons speak to the microbial effects and the health conditions that are a consequence of eating too much sugar.
So when we think about sugar, I would say let's talk about the short-term and then long-term effects of too much sugar. So in the short term, while your body is still able to make enough insulin, the sugar levels are able to go down quickly, because insulin is the key that opens the door to let the sugar into the cells to be used as fuel. All right, so while we're young, we have a little bit of sugar, our body is able to handle that, and it gives us energy and uses fuel. But however, as we become more obese or overweight, these effects in terms of your body's production of insulin, that starts to decline over time, or you have increased insulin resistance. So the insulin has to work harder to get into the cells. So that is more of a long-term effect of too much sugar causing obesity, leading to insulin resistance, and then that leading to prediabetes, diabetes, and the other effects of metabolic syndrome, such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and also heart disease in the long term. In regards to its effect on the brain, so sugar is needed for fuel for the brain. That's the main fuel and energy source. It is the excess that becomes problematic. And then we talk about the long-term effects. When we talk about high fructose corn syrup in particular, so that is a very cheap form of sugar that's in pretty much everything. So over the past 20 years, they've been using large amounts of this in sodas, packaged foods, children's snacks, and this has a high addictive potential. So I think in our last conversation last month, Jan referenced that the addictive potential of these high sugary foods and processed foods. So that creates a food addiction in children, and that even starts from childhood, and that addiction continues into adulthood. In terms of microbes and gut health and things like that, yes, a healthy, balanced diet, fruits, veggies, fiber are important for gut health. And when you have poor gut health, that can also lead to increased risk of diabetes and things like that. So multiple plethora of metabolic disease that can occur.
Yeah, the text is also pointing to other changes in terms of the brain structure and behavioral changes and cognitive skills. Are we seeing that as well?
But I'll speak to the behavioral changes, yes. Because of the addictive qualities of foods that are high in sugars, namely the white flours and the high fructose corn syrup, we're seeing the addictions. We're also seeing hyperactivity in children who are given large portions of sweetened drinks. There are a lot of sweet drinks out there, and children are drinking them in place of water. And so we have the addictive qualities. We also have the hyperactivity in children that we're noticing, and studies are linking it back to the diet. And Dr. David-Simmons can take it further as it relates to the brain activity.
Yeah, I think Jan summed it up in terms of, is it changing the brain structure? I think it's leading more to addictive potential. And even by doing sugar detox, I mean, children can regain some of those skills that they may have lost, or as we say, settle down in terms of less anxiety, less hyperactive. So even by changing the diet, you can reverse some of those changes. I would say the more long-term changes are metabolic in nature, not so much structural brain changes.
Yeah, well, and sugar substitutes, are any of them, do you recommend any of those? What are the do's and the don'ts when it comes to those?
In diabetes education, we recommend that persons stay away from sugar substitutes. When I'm working with obese persons, I also suggest that maybe they stay away from the sugar substitutes because there's so many studies out there that are non-conclusive. And, you know, we're not sure what goes into a sugar substitute. What did they take out that was natural from the product and replace it with? And how is that chemical affecting the body long term? And those studies are non-conclusive. And so I recommend, if you're going to have some sugar, have less, and stick with the more, you know, rather than go for the sugar substitutes.
Now, what about those that claim they are all natural? Are they really all natural? What do you say about those?
But you know, Dwight, if it's in a package, it's not all natural because they have to put something in it to maintain the shelf life of the product. And so if it is in a package, then it's not natural. Natural is when you pick it off of the tree. That is natural. Organic is when you go and get it out of a field that you procure, and you know you didn't use any fertilizers and any other chemicals to help with growth or maintenance of the integrity of the product, whether it's a package or something, you know, in a can. So yeah, they can have 100% natural juice, but it's in a box. So how natural is that? Right. It's like the coconut water in the can. How natural is that? And so we as consumers need to start to become a little more savvy and learn to read the labels. In my studies, we always say, if you can't pronounce it, then maybe it's not good for you.
Oh, dear. Oh, wow. That's scary. That's so many things now. All right. So before we get to Dr. Ranga, when we need to see Dr. Ranga, what are things that we can do? We've talked a lot about the food choices, but in terms of maybe exercise that can be done before you need to look at surgical options.
Well, you know, before we even look at surgical options, Dr. David Simmons are working with children now, she and myself, who are pre-diabetic and who are overweight and obese. And there are some children who are extremely obese. They are over the BMI 30 is obese, and they're way past 30, 35. And so there are some pharmaceutical medications that they're using in children who are extremely obese in conjunction with lifestyle changes. And the lifestyle changes has to come from the entire family. Parents get involved, other children get involved, and that encourages the child or children to maintain the changes. So I'd like Dr. Ariane David Simmons speak to the pharmacological treatment of it, and then Dr. Ranga.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So before we even get to the pharmacological changes, I wanted to highlight, so if obesity is starting at a very young age, so less than 5 years of age, if the child is obese, we may then look at other causes of obesity, other than just genetics, environmental. So that would be a first screening. So I usually end up seeing those children who have severe obesity as an endocrinologist to look for other causes. So either excess cortisol, thyroid dysfunction, what we call monogenic causes of obesity, where there's actually a genetic defect that is leading to this. So that's one thing. But in general, in more than 90% of obese children, the cause will be because of lifestyle, excess calorie intake, strong family history, cultural change.
Right. Before you go on, so when, I know that people say this all the time, but it's been disproven, but some people still believe it, you know, when they tell you, oh, you're just big boned.
Yeah, there's no such thing. There's no such thing.
There's no such thing.
So we all have similar bone structure. So the excess weight is actually that excess weight, excess fat, but the bones are all similar, same size, depending on your height when you compare to your thinner counterpart.
Right.
So once you've worked with lifestyle, so that is the baseline. Once we've ruled out secondary causes of obesity, it's lifestyle, and that would be working with a nutritionist, working with exercise, getting the kids moving. If they are unable to lose at least 7 to 10% of their excess body weight through lifestyle alone, then we can consider pharmacological options, meaning medications to help with obesity. In kids, there are 3 that are FDA approved. One is approved for 12 or younger, and that is Orilostat. How that works, it was marketed as Ally years ago. The way that works is that causes the fat to not be absorbed. So when they eat food, it has some fat components, the fat is not absorbed, and it is excreted and released into the bowels. So that leads to calorie deficit. In children who are 16 and over, there are 2 other medications that are approved. One is called phentermine, it's a tablet. And the way it works is it works with that association between the gut and the brain, so it helps to curb appetite. So obviously, if you don't feel hungry, you take in less calories, and if you take in less calories, you lose weight. And the last medication that recently got FDA approval is a medication called liraglutide. It has been approved for adults, for the past maybe 5 to 8 years. It is an injection. It is similar to a hormone that the body naturally makes from the gut. So the child takes this as an injection, it talks to the brain, and it puts a brake on eating. So it says, hey, you're full, there's no need to overeat. And again, this leads to calorie deficit and weight loss. So those are just some of the strategies we use before we refer patients for bariatric surgery.
Wow, it's just frightening to imagine that children
consider
have to consider this. This is wow, disturbing. And of course, these can be used on adults as well.
Yes.
All right. And you're doing this. This is happening in our Bahamas. This is
Yes, it is. Yes, it definitely is.
Wow. Okay. And if that doesn't work, then we have to see Dr. Anga.
Yes, if they meet criteria for surgery and they're not having weight loss, and or if they have metabolic syndromes, the diabetes, the high blood pressure, high cholesterol, with a BMI of 35 and over, yes, they will meet criteria for surgery.
All right. Now, we spoke last time, Dr. Anga, we started to talk about it, and it's just mind-boggling. But the options, the various options, what are some of those options for children?
Dwight, thanks. Like you said, we just touched upon it the last time we spoke about this. So like Dr. Simmons said, I come in at the very end of the whole spectrum of treatment. So I'll just quickly go through these the criteria for surgery. Basically, it all starts with the BMI. So anybody with a BMI of more than 35 can be considered for some sort of intervention. We'll talk about what exactly the intervention is a little later on. And the age. The second is the age criteria. For girls, the youngest we can do surgery for is 13. And for boys, it's 15. So that's the current recommendation. It may change in future, but as of now, this is what we are working with.
And why the differences there? What's that about?
We don't know for sure. I'm assuming most likely it's because of the hormonal differences.
Okay.
Between the sexes. So the WHO has given us these guidelines. Of course, the definition of adolescence is above 12, right? 12 to 18, not below 12.
Right.
So since we're talking about, I'm strictly talking about at least adolescent obesity. So what we spoke about just now was, of course, childhood obesity. So childhood obesity is different from adolescent obesity, yeah?
Yes.
Right. So I'm as a surgeon, I'm only concerned with adolescent obesity because we cannot offer surgery for anybody less than 12. That's for sure. As of now, with the current understanding. So once the patient is in the program, the kid is in the program, the child will get worked up, consulted by Dr. Simmons, Dr. Martin, and if necessary, a psychologist as well. We have one on the team. So these 3 consultants will work on the case, which typically spreads over several months. Constantly monitor the diet, what child is taking, advise the parents, like what Janet spoke about, all that.
So before the surgery, that's happening.
Before the surgery, it's mandatory that they go through all of this. And then in the end, the patients are referred to me, and I will meet with them, and I will talk to them about why they need surgery, and what are the types of surgery, or the complications, the benefits, the aftercare. The aftercare is also very important. So all of this, I will sit and have a long session with them, and I will draw pictures. I will show them my models of how it's done and what it's going to look like after the surgery and what it entails. So that's when I come into the picture.
Right.
Yeah. So just remember the BMI. Yeah, it's got to be more than 35. If the BMI is less than 35, I don't even come in the picture.
Right. And on average, how many of these are you doing? How frequently are you doing this here?
Well, we've already started. We've done several already in the Bahamas. But must remember, I'm quite new to the Bahamas. But I was in the Cayman Islands before, which also has a very high incidence of obesity. And of course, before that in India and everywhere else. So I've done several of these procedures, hundreds and hundreds. In Bahamas, we are starting off. I've already done several procedures here, but because of the current situation, the COVID and all that, is we have to postpone some of these. But there are many patients waiting and on the cards who are ready for surgery right now.
My goodness.
The youngest patient I've done so far, back in India, this is a girl, 15 years old, who was morbidly obese. She was more than 40 BMI and had all the other problems that we spoke about earlier.
Okay. Wow.
So that was my youngest patient. Yeah.
Very, very, very disturbing. But this is the situation we are dealing with. All right. So we are running out of time. We've got to go because we're going to go live to the opening of Parliament. But thank you all. How can people get more information? Give us a website or some numbers to call in if they want to get some information about the weight loss solutions at Doctors Hospital.
Okay, if you're interested in getting more information, you can call me at 302-3256. Dr. Renger's line is 302-3257, and we're located at Sanderville Medical Center. That's where Doctors Hospital outpatient clinics are.
Okay.
Under the weight loss and chronic disease department.
Thank you all so much. Dr. Jan Martin, Dr. Ariane Davis, Simmons, and Dr. Ranga, thank you so much. And
thanks,
Thank you. Great information that people need to know. Thank
you for having us.
All right. So that is it for Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business. And Chester, thank you so much for being here with us this morning.
Always a pleasure.
All right, so we are going to go live to the opening of Parliament. A big day today. We're going to take a listen to that. And enjoy. We'll be back with more from Guardian Radio after the live coverage from Parliament.